My husband doesn't seem interested in Thanksgiving, so I'm excluding him.
You should cook him and add him to the table.
I, 33 female, and my husband, 42 male, have been together for 10 years, married for almost 4, and have loved together for 8. We usually spend Thanksgiving with my parents, who live down the road, and Christmas with his mom, who lives 3 hours away. By the way, this comes from One Confection 6363, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, in the past, he had a very demanding job, worked 50+ hours a week, and was on call at all times. Meanwhile, I work an office job, set schedule, and holidays off. I learned to cook Thanksgiving dinner for us all, and always did the shopping. This year, however, my husband quit his demanding job a few months ago that was causing a lot of mental health issues and found a new job in the same field that he loves. It's lower pay and part-time, but he makes up for it financially with his eBay account, which he makes a decent amount off of. I've been thinking about Thanksgiving, but hadn't been able to get to the store like I usually do every year because on top of my job, I'm taking college classes this semester, trying to start on my bachelor's degree. Bless, last week I came down sick with a sinus infection and was out from Monday night through Sunday. I'm still feeling stuffy and congested, but I've been going to work and wearing a mask. I asked my husband yesterday to please go to the store and get something, anything for Thanksgiving. I worked until 8, and when I got home, he was playing video games and said he forgot. But he showed me he went to the little Italian grocer's next door for lunch to get a sub and picked up cranberry sauce. He could have gotten the other items for Thanksgiving right there, yeah, but it was too crowded. So after he got his sub, he left. I know how long that queue takes to get your sub. While he was waiting for his number to be called, he could have easily walked around and picked up the other items. So today he has a half day at work, so I asked him this morning if he could please go to the store once he gets off to get what we need for Thanksgiving, and he snapped at me, saying that this wasn't all his fault, and we both forgot, and he doesn't like how I'm telling him, you need to do this, and you need to do that, which I didn't. I asked politely, and now he doesn't even want to do Thanksgiving because of all the pressure he feels. So I'm going to call my parents, ask them to go to the store and pick up what they can for a small Thanksgiving, and spend it with them. He doesn't want to do Thanksgiving, fine, but my parents will not be left in the lurch because of his attitude. So am I the a-hole? How? And there's an update.
I mean, was there an agreement for you to get the food instead of him? It doesn't sound like it.
Sounds like he agreed to get the food, and then he didn't get the food. So
I got the sauce.
I got the sauce, though.
I got the cranberry sauce.
But there is an update 3 days later. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for all the comments I received about my husband not buying groceries. A little clarification for everyone. Our ages have never been an issue. I pursued him, not the other way around. And no, it's not daddy issues. I have a healthy relationship with my dad. I do not do all the housework and cooking. Typically, he is actually the one that cooks because he's much better at it than I am. We will usually do grocery shopping together. He cooks, and I clean for our everyday meals. So the workload is shared. It was just for holiday meals. I did it all in the past because he typically had to go to work on Thanksgiving, but I'm always off. As some people pointed out, it reeks of depression on his part. And yes, it does, because he has actually been diagnosed with depression years ago. He's on medication, but refuses to see a therapist to actually talk things out, so I am usually much more understanding. But there's only so much that I can take as well. I'm only human, too. Okay, now into what you all actually want, the update. That morning, after making the post, I finished getting ready for work, called my parents, and asked them to pick up some groceries, which I would pick up from them on my way home from work. I called my husband, he was already at work, and told him that I was asking my parents to pick up groceries, so don't worry about it. He could hear the upset tone in my voice and asked, what was wrong? I told him that I was upset over this morning, but we would talk about it later. I faltered and started talking more, but it started to turn into an argument over the phone again. He got upset that I was doing this while he was at work, but I reminded him that he was the one who brought it up. I never told him that he was banned from Thanksgiving. I wanted to wait to see if he would fix the attitude because for me, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And it's about being thankful for what you do have, not focusing on what's missing. I really didn't want to do it without him, but I was prepared to in case he didn't check himself. After we hung up and I got to work, as I pulled into the garage, he texted saying, "I love you, can we stop until we talk?" Which I took to mean a stop arguing, so we did. I went through my day at work, and we were really busy since we are closed Thanksgiving and Black Friday. I work with the public and children, and it was an exhausting day. Sometime around 3, he texted me a picture of the huge stack of his eBay sales that he packed up and was taking to the post office. I didn't see it until I got off work, though. When I got off at 5, I walked back to the garage with my coworkers, got in the car, and did my usual routine of texting him that I was leaving work. He never asked that I do this. I choose to for personal safety since I work downtown, so don't go jump into conclusions saying he's controlling or whatever. My parents live about 5 minutes from my work, so I swung by their place to get what they picked up. Dad picked up 2 small, pre-cooked smoked turkeys. He told me they were buy one, get one. Broccoli, croissant rolls, and pre-cooked au gratin potatoes. Then, as I was leaving my parents, my husband called. I told him that I was leaving mom and dad's and what they got for Thanksgiving dinner. He then told me that he went to the store and also got food for Thanksgiving dinner. I was a little peeved because that means he didn't listen when I told him my parents were doing the shopping, but also was relieved that he realized his mistake and tried to fix it. When I got home, we both waited to cool down before talking. He picked up the same smoked turkey my dad got, but thankfully only one. He also got potatoes, 2 different types of stuffing, yams, marshmallows, king Hawaiian rolls, green beans, cream of mushroom soup, heavy whipping cream, shredded cheese, and a pumpkin pie. He also picked up a few regular things we needed for the house, like cases of water and milk. Then we sat down and had a long discussion. It did devolve into an argument at one point because he kept trying to lighten the mood with jokes, but I just wasn't ready for that yet. Eventually, he came in and said he was sorry, he loved me, and he really did want to talk. I asked him if he was ready to be serious, and he said yes. I love his goofy randomness. It's part of why I chose him, but there's a time and place for it.
Are you serious?
Are
you
you serious?
serious right now?
We talked it all through. Now he feels like nothing he does is good enough because I always find something else to nitpick.
Yeah, not even his jokes are good enough.
But
for
now you don't even like
okay?
my jokes.
Okay.
He took care of me while I was sick and made sure I wasn't wanting for anything the entire time I was stuck in bed. His eBay account does sell a lot because he puts a lot of effort into posting on there, and he's managed to keep a high rating because he always sends out packages quickly. He will usually box and ship about 5 to 10 packages a day. He also said how he just doesn't care for Thanksgiving anymore because we are pretty much the black sheep of every extended family on both sides. He would be more excited if it were more people rather than just the 4 of us. And it's a lot of work for just 4 people. I told him that it wasn't that he doesn't do enough, but it's specifically when he neglects to do the favors I ask of him or forgets them that makes me feel like I'm not important enough to him. It's several little things here and there that really don't matter, but all end up stacking up, and this was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I know all about forgetting. I have ADHD and forget all the time. But he has always helped me manage it by telling me to put reminders or alarms on my phone, or even with my classwork this semester, since it's all online before we start watching a movie together, or I start playing my video game. He'll ask me if I have any classwork that needs to be done. Because of his reminders, I have only been late with 2 assignments this semester. Both were because I was sick. After talking it out, we both seemed to have a better understanding of each other. I again told him how important Thanksgiving is for me, and that it doesn't matter that it's only the 4 of us, because when I was growing up, it was just my sister, my parents, and me. And it's more about the principle of being together and thankful for what we do have. It seems like everything's going really well.
Seems like we've kind of recovered. We've pivoted and
Yeah.
recovered a little bit here.
We
huh?
did a little and now we've got 3 turkeys, a little bit of love for each other, and a whole lot of understanding.
4 turkeys if you count OP's partner.
Oh, 5 turkeys if they went bowling and they got a turkey.
Well, you got to get 3 strikes in a row for that.
Yeah.
All right. It takes a consummate professional.
Thanksgiving morning, we watched the parade in bed. Then we got up and cleaned off the dining room table together which was so overcrowded due to his depression and my ADHD. We haven't eaten on it in about a month. After we did that, some of the boys messaged him to get online as there was a special Thanksgiving event in-game. He did, but only enough to complete the missions and got right off.
Yo, they're giving away digital turkeys. You gotta get on right now.
Why are the boys playing games? Why they got a Thanksgiving game?
Because there's a limited edition Thanksgiving hat that you can win if you play in the game and you do the thing.
Turkeys. I always wanted to wear a turkey on my head.
I've always wanted this. They know that.
While he did that, I peeled and jabbed the potatoes and started to boil them. Then I put together the green bean casserole, croissant rolls, and turned the oven on to preheat. After he got off his game, I asked him to do the dishes that I accumulated while I was cooking. Then I got to sit down and he started on the sweet potato casserole stuffing and got the turkey out of the fridge to warm up. How many of the turkeys did you get out? Just one or all three?
Probably 4.
Yeah, you got an extra turkey, just in case.
They found one in the back.
Then he put the stuffing and the turkey into the oven to warm and finished with dinner while I went to pick up my parents. This is so specific and detailed that I keep thinking that something is going to happen.
And nothing does.
But I'm wondering if this is just
dinner.
Nice and we're getting a really detailed account of Thanksgiving dinner. Because I'm waiting for it to be and then he did this and refused, but it's not coming yet.
And then he threw the turkey into the backyard and said, "Let the wolves feast."
By the time I brought them back, it was all ready. I helped to set the table and we had a very nice Thanksgiving together. Okay, so it was all good. And you know what else is good? Listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Croissant. Yeah, sometimes all it takes is a nice croissant
It's true.
to bring people together, you know?
It's true.
Or
Nice little Thanksgiving
3
dinner.
turkeys.
3 turkeys always brings people together. It's
Yeah.
just the facts. But good job communicating. This all worked out really well, and you had a nice dinner. So
I'll tell you one thing. I sure am thankful that this turned out to be a nice
me
story.
too. NOP continues. At the end of the night, after I had taken my parents home and we were just by ourselves again, he asked if I had a good Thanksgiving, and I told him yes, and asked if he did too. He also said yes. We talked some more about how we can better plan for next year. Overall, I would have been the a-hole if I had truly excluded him, but he was also the a-hole for snapping over something that, as adults, we should just suck up and do. Thank you to everyone for your comments. It really helped me see the bigger picture. Some of your comments were way off and ridiculous, though, so it helped me to laugh about the situation and see that it wasn't as bad as my rejection sensitivity was making it out to be. He's not cheating, he's not useless and lazy, and he by no means is a self-absorbed person. We both just have things we need to work on as human beings, but it's despite both of our faults that we still love each other and are able to make it through. So again, thank you.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Sometimes, sometimes people on the internet, when they're alone and they comment something on a thread, they'll just be like, well, this person clearly is not perfect, so you should leave them, you idiot.
Yeah.
And it's just not always the right advice.
Oh, and we just have to take all of that advice that we get on Reddit with a grain of salt. My boyfriend has been throwing away the lunches I cooked for him.
Are they stinky?
Pre the vid, my boyfriend, 24 male, worked about an hour away from home. I, 21 female, always woke up at 5:30 a.m. so I could pack him fresh lunch before he left at 6:10 a.m. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Should Cook, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon. Oh wow, that's really messed
I didn't
up.
do it. I didn't do it.
No, I hear things.
I stopped myself. I'm sorry.
No, I think I stopped you from saying it.
Keon is a goose,
Yeah,
and a
that's-
goose has no name.
I apologize, Keon.
No, it's okay. This is only the second time you've done it in 2 weeks. you're 2 for 2.
It's always right after I come from
I don't
reading
think-
downstairs.
I don't
That's
think
my
you do this.
excuse.
No, I don't think you do this with Riley. That's fine. You know what? That's okay.
But we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. Let us know what you would do in the comments. So OP says, I packed for him because he was having some rough time at work and I knew he didn't get along with a lot of the people there. I did this 6 times a week for a year and a half.
Now, I have a question. Why don't we pack the lunch the day before? Yeah, no.
That's a good idea.
I know you said fresh lunch, but 12 hours, 6
Yeah.
hours, Same lunch.
I mean, he's probably going to go put it in a fridge, so if it's something that can be reheated
Yeah.
or it doesn't need to be heated.
Why don't we stop waking up at 5 in the morning to make lunch when we can just make lunch the day before?
Problem solving.
Mm.
Now, near the vid, he got promoted, and a month-ish after that, work went online, so I didn't have to pack for him. Recently, I've become friends with one of the gals at the office, and we call each other now and then. During our conversation, our Christmas call yesterday, I found out something shocking. My boyfriend had been eating work lunch that the job provides, instead of my lunches.
When I think of work lunch, I just think of like a big ladle of just goop, just slop.
They have a lunch lady.
Like the food they ate in the Matrix.
It's the no. It's like the 10-day-old like square piece of pizza that just is disgusting and a little milk carton.
like a
Yeah.
SpongeBob close-up shot.
Yes, I was thinking of that, but I didn't realize it was SpongeBob. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I asked her how long he had been eating in the job cafeteria, and she told me from his card logs that he's been eating there every day for a year and a half. She said that the card provided lunch, and when he got lunch, it would notify her machine, and there has been notifications every day for the entire time I've packed for him. That's insane.
Why hasn't he just been like, I eat lunch at work. You don't have to pack my lunch. I
Yeah.
appreciate it though. You're so sweet.
Yeah, it's so easy to do that.
You've wasted a year and a half's worth of food for lunch
Yeah,
on lunch.
that's
I'm so
insane.
confused. Why?
There's an little edit. FYI, I didn't ask for her to snoop on the logs. I didn't even know that she had the logs. It was just a natural flow in the conversation to ask, how long was he doing that? After she told me he's been doing it for a while, when I said, for me, I meant that she did it because she was invested in the situation, and she said, I looked it up so you can know, but not because I told her to.
The OP's just trying to be like, yeah, I wasn't being like,
Give me all the data. Tell me exactly when and where
Right.
and how many times.
it was just like, it was just part of the conversation.
Yeah. I got off the call fuming. I cooked at 5:30 a.m. 6 days a week for him, and he threw it away. Then my rage turned into humiliation. I don't know, I felt so embarrassed that he hated my food so much that he would eat work lunch instead. Now I feel betrayed because he could have been honest, but he wasn't. He would always bring his empty lunch bag home and tell me XYZ was pretty good and stuff like that, but I know he has
Ew.
never eaten my food before. That sucks. So
Ew.
he's just doubling down on all the lies.
Maybe he's like giving your lunches to someone else that he works with, and they're like, yeah, no, the meatloaf was good today. So he's not
So he's-
fully lying.
He's relaying the message.
He's like, just like says under his breath, like, from what I've heard, yeah, the meatloaf
Right.
was pretty good today.
Right.
According to Kevin. Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird lie. This would make me feel weird about my partner.
Yeah, I'd feel very weird for sure. My friend said there was no area to eat aside from the cafeteria and that he never brought food there. I feel like crap. I prided myself in being a good girlfriend and cooking for him, but now I know that that meant nothing. What do I do? And there are some comments. What would you do, Dakota?
Talk to your boyfriend about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, maybe your boyfriend does like you enough to where he's like, I can't tell my girlfriend her cooking is.
Yeah.
That's a hard
Yeah.
thing to tell someone right to their face, or it's like, yeah, hey, that's toxic waste.
Right.
I can't eat that. I'd rather eat the goop slop.
For a year and a half is tough, though.
Yeah,
Like in a year and a half, you could figure it out.
That point, I'm just like, so have you been lying to me? What else have you been lying to me about for a year and
Yeah.
a half?
Yeah.
What else have
believed
you
it.
been keeping to yourself?
Right. Yeah, conversation is definitely in need here. Noah47 says, what the F? So he couldn't tell you he doesn't want your lunch? The frick is wrong with him? Absolutely right to be angry. OP says, I know. My anger isn't from not liking my lunches, which, you can totally just tell me, but from not telling me anything. I'm wondering if there's something wrong with me which made him not want to tell me. IAche says, from his card logs, so you got her to go look up this info during your Christmas call? Or she just already knew that info, which seems weird for a human to just know. Just wondering how this came to be. I would ask him whether he really has been eating them. Maybe there are factors you don't know about, or yes, maybe he was afraid to tell you. That sucks. especially with all of the work that you did. Sometimes people think the stupid things matter and ignore the important parts, thinking that they're doing a nice thing. I think talking to him about it before getting wrapped up in hypotheticals is the best course here. OP says she's the secretary/office manager, and she makes sure no one uses the cards for something that they're not supposed to. I think she kept her work phone with her that had a record of everything, and she kind of snooped in it for me. Yep, I'm gonna wait till he's not busy and confront him about it. Till then, I'm just going to be slightly paranoid. I'll update his response. Another commenter says she could be fired for that.
Boo.
I don't know if that's true. It's not like a HIPAA violation.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I mean, OP explained it earlier too. Yeah, it's just like, did he eat lunch today?
You've exposed the eating habits of your fellow co-workers, and for that we sentence you to 5,000 years in the pit.
In the pit, not prison, not
Yes.
anything else. The pit.
We send you into the hole in the ground that we dig every day.
Yep.
Gets a little deeper.
They have to shovel and throw it up 5,000 feet into the air.
Yeah.
However deep this pit
It's
is.
tiered. It's tiered. So there's one person with a shovel at the bottom, and then they scoop the up to the next
Got it.
level, and they scoop that.
Got it.
It's
They
a
have to
scoop
catch it.
train.
They have to catch it in their
Yeah,
shovel.
that's how you're graded based on how many points. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this idea. Also, did he ever ask you to make his lunch for him every day, or did you just do it? It seems like he was afraid to tell you the truth about a fairly simple thing, and based on your reaction, I'm understanding that a bit. Even though he is 3 years older than you and should have been mature about confronting you, if he never even asked you to do it to begin with, I could see why that's a little awkward. Also, that you're so close to his colleagues that you're video chatting is a bit more than I'd be comfortable with, but that's just me. Opie says he complained a lot about having to eat with people he hated, so I started making food for him. But I chose to make food for him. Also, I didn't ask her to snoop on his logs. I asked her since she seemed like she knew, and she chose to tell me the logs on her work phone. I didn't ask her to check up on anything, but she told me. I don't think he's too uncomfortable about me knowing his work friend because he would sometimes pitch in and out of conversation or bring down some gifts that they would give me, but who knows? Another commenter says, maybe he's eating 2 lunches? OP responds, not really a big guy, but he's not skinny. He has a healthy appetite, but I think it's humanly possible to eat the whole butt lunch, which is pretty filling, right after breakfast. And me too, I'm bamboozled/madboozled.
I'd never heard Mad Boozled before.
Me neither.
It's a world first, Mad Boozle.
Bad boozled.
A maboozle.
Yes. Very interesting. And there's a comment containing what OP makes for his lunches. OP says he rides the subway and it's prohibited from eating on the subway.
And nobody breaks that rule.
No, of course not.
No one has ever broken that rule.
I actually didn't even know that was a rule. Good thing we don't have subways down here. Also, I have a hard time imagining him eating on the commute. My soups and pastas and eating so much right after breakfast, which I make sure is filling. Missing some commas there, but that's all right. But we do have an update. Little bit of spoilers there if you read it, but what are our thoughts so far on this man?
I didn't see whatever that was.
Great.
I really hope that he's not
Yeah.
giving his homemade wife lunch
Yeah.
to some kind of pretty lady and saying, "Hey, I made you lunch today."
That would be crazy.
I really hope he's not doing that.
Oh my gosh. The like good way that I could spin this is if he like on his subway commute he found like a homeless person and would feed that homeless person since he can't give the homeless person the work lunch.
Right.
That's the only way that this could be kind of saved right now.
Yeah.
The lying is still an issue, but I hope it's not yours for the sake of OP. But for the sake of drama and a good story,
Yeah.
I kind of hope that you're right.
I hope you're right. I think if he's giving it to a homeless guy on the way to work and then on the way back, he tells you, "How was it today?"
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Dude, those green beans.
Yeah.
I love me a green bean,
Yeah.
baby." And he's like, "Yeah, the green beans were
Like,
good
all
today."
right. Relaying the message. But we do have an update. He did throw away his lunch.
No.
Yes, the entire time.
No.
Dang it.
Come on. Ugh.
And he did it because he had to fit in, and he ate with the other workers who ate the cafeteria food, and that's why he got to smooch his way to a promotion.
What?
Wait.
I'm sorry. Did you mean schmooze? Was he kissing everybody at lunch?
He's
Just
they're
little
all-
smooth. Mwah.
they're-
Do I get promoted today? We'll talk about it tomorrow, Jenkins.
they're all eating the like very garlicky pasta and then smooching each other with their garlic breath. Like, you
Babe.
must eat the garlic first.
You just don't.
You pass the test, you get promoted.
Yeah. If
You don't get it.
If you don't smell like garlic when you come into my smooch, then I know that you have failed me and that you're not determined enough to work at this company.
My work culture is highly competitive and very unique. I can't really explain it. You wouldn't understand.
You just gotta let me do this. That's insane.
You just need to cook with more garlic, OP,
I guess
so he can kiss all his bosses with garlic breath and get his
He can
promotion.
lie. Yeah. He said that the office environment was pretty cliquey and he didn't want to ostracize himself by eating special lunches. He didn't tell me because he thought at first that it would be a short-term thing. Then he said he didn't want to put me down and sound ungrateful, so he just kept pushing it back until I found out. He said he would have told me sooner or later, but I'm pissed. He did sometimes eat my lunch coming back from work, but oftentimes he would throw it away or give it to stray animals near the park outside our home. He's like, we can't let this soup go to waste.
I wouldn't eat this slop, but I'll give it to the varmints.
Yeah, the geese in the park need the taste of my wife's soup.
I must feed geese soup.
I'm being a good Samaritan,
A
helping our
good
environment.
Goose Samaritan.
And now he's
Or,
like
no,
Snow
no.
White.
A goose Samaritan.
Goose Samaritan. Yep.
Yeah.
I now picture him being like Snow White when he like prances into this park, and then all the birds and squirrels and geese are like, oh my gosh, and then he scoops the soup into his hands.
Yeah.
And holds it.
He takes a little flute out of his jacket pocket and he goes and then all the animals start coming over.
And the sun comes out and they eat from his hands.
It's soup.
And that's
They
what he
eat
is.
just runny, drippy soup from his hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
imagine.
what a mess.
But
Every day, my husband comes back home and his hands smell like soup.
his hands smell like soup. I thought that meant he was eating it, but
I just thought my husband ate soup with his hands. I was going to leave it alone.
right. There's also like a weird squirrel stench about him. I can't place it.
Yeah, he keeps on having to go to the hospital to get rabies shots. I
Yeah.
don't know. He
Don't know what's that about.
says there's a squirrel that keeps biting him on the train, but I find that hard to believe for the 9th
Because
time.
I don't think a squirrel would have enough money to buy a subway ticket.
Yeah. What does a squirrel got to do on the subway?
Yeah. But I hope he continues. But I feel like he's just saying that to make the situation sound better because he said it after he told me that he never ate my lunches. He's like, but babe, you don't understand. I'm feeding the forest.
Nah, I'm feeding the forest. And also, I was going to tell you eventually, just not ever right now.
Right.
Now that you know, I'm telling you, which is proof in the pudding, which I don't eat.
No, maybe he does eat the pudding with his bare hands too.
Bare hands.
He eats the pudding.
Yep.
Like, no, never mind. I'll let that one.
But
Yeah, it's gone.
we would never lie to you when we tell you that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it, 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 do it.
And we do have a second update.
Yeah.
I say we jump right in.
I'm jumping with joy.
Jumping with joy. Update number 2. Y'all, I was ready to make my decision, and I told him to tell me anything that he was not telling me beforehand, and he told me something pretty deal-breaking. I mean, this is a man who couldn't tell me that he didn't like my food, so a huge debt was too big to talk about. LOL. I mean, we weren't in the best situation, but yeah, he had some other issues, and I'm not dealing with that. He can go to a therapist to sort out whatever issues he has if he wants to. It's better for him anyway. It's a win-win to everyone in the comments. People who told me that he was a no-no, win, break up. People who told me that I was cray-cray, win, break up. Also, I made this little collage. I would be
There's
very
a note
curious.
that describes the collage.
The collage is made up of horrible comments being OP's fault, a bad cook, or a bad girlfriend.
Maybe I shouldn't bring that up.
Wow.
Yeah.
A collage of people being like, actually, you're a bad girlfriend for waking up at 5:30 in the morning to make your partner breakfast every day.
Do you guys want to see the collage?
No.
Okay, because I'm thinking it's like one of those word collages where it's like
It's just a bunch
it's
of
like it's
comments.
all the words, but it's like the bigger the word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like the more
And he's
common it
yeah,
says.
Yeah, the more
whatever.
common it is, the bigger it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's in debt,
I'm
and
imagining.
he's a stinky little liar. Because even his excuse doesn't sound right. Like, work's a little clicky, and like, if I came in with my own lunch, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like, I wouldn't have got a promotion. It's like, where are you working?
Like, wouldn't you be proud that your girlfriend is making you food? You could still eat with them. And you could just be like,
yeah.
yeah, my girlfriend made me food.
It's a pretty funny collage. Not even really a collage. It's just like
All right, show it.
Show
it.
I
you
just like I like
tease.
the bottom image. Hold on, let me get.
Show it, you little teaser. Of course,
Let's
you like
see
the
it.
bottom image because you've got a bottom on you.
I'm imagining like a bunch of videos that are like showing the hateful comments, and then it's like they're singing like "This Is Me" on it or something, or
This is
like
me. What is that?
that's from
Sing
The
that
Greatest
song.
Showman. Like it's like "This is me," whoa, or it's something about like born. Wait,
That's not a collage.
I know it's
You're-
it's
That's
yeah.
not a collage.
don't get me started on my DMs and the 4 persistent people in my DMs.
It literally said I have a lot of time on my hands, which I think you can compile this literally in 10 minutes.
Yeah, power of AI nowadays. You sure could. But
Just people being like, "You're a bad cook and also a woman, and I hate you."
yeah, it's like, well, you should be cooking anyway because that's where you belongs in the freaking kitchen.
Yeah, actually, as a professional guy who knows all the things ever, you stink at cooking, and also your boyfriend is way hotter than you, and he should be mine. And
Yeah.
also, you suck.
You suck and you make stinky soup.
Yeah.
No one would want to eat anyway.
Yeah, from Reddit user Fart Blaster 89 89 89 89.
Yeah.
I blast farts all day long, and you stink.
You're a sticky person, and that's coming from someone that farts all day. Oh!
Yeah, get owned. Get wrecked.
You're wrecked, dude.
Get wrecked.
What did you guys have for breakfast today? Y'all are
I'm
Y'all
just
good?
saying, man. I'm just saying.
This is just how we be.
Dude,
We
did
just
someone
had
just say
Cup of silly geese.
did someone just say silly sausage in the chat? Are you
Silly sausage.
was that a
Was
a
that a
Smiling
Smiling
Friends
Friends
reference?
Is that?
yeah.
Which episode is that from?
From Silly Samuel?
The first episode.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes. I'm remembering now. Yeah, that was
It's
in our
not
breakfast
funny.
casserole.
I'm making silly sausage on the hood of my shitbox Corolla. No one takes me seriously.
I came around on Smiling Friends. I hated it with my entire being at first.
Yeah, it's
And now
Yeah,
I miss
and then,
it.
And
Now
then,
I
you-
want
and
more.
then your brain grew 10 times
yeah.
that size.
Like you
I
got
don't
you
know
got
if it
Grinch
grew.
brain. You got Grinch brain.
I think
Yeah.
it might have shrunk.
No.
And that's why I was like,
I think
Nah,
maybe
silly, silly.
the brain expanded, but then like the space between the neurons got wider. You know,
yeah.
it's like it didn't get bigger; it just got less dense.
Right. And in between, it's just the like, like it's
Yeah,
just
that's
the-
pretty good.
Thank you.
Uh,
I've been practicing.
I've been practicing.
My whole
My
life I've been waiting for
skills.
this bit.
While you were out partying, I was studying the blade.
All right, we're getting the next episode ready.
My father is a picky eater, and it might ruin my birthday.
Ah, picky eaters ruin everything.
I, 28 female, am going out for a birthday dinner on Sunday with my family, and I was told to pick a restaurant I wanted to go to. There's this amazing Japanese restaurant that I love going to, so I told my mother, 63 female, I'd love to go there. My mother pretty much shut it down immediately because she knows my father, 64 male, won't eat anything there. By the way, this comes from a deleted user. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And we are here to give good advice goofily, or maybe not, because we don't know everything. Hello, we only know some things, so let us know what the things that you know in the comments. OP says, my father is your typical Appalachian American, a boomer man who loves his casseroles, meat and potatoes, no frills, no spice, no seasoning, except salt and pepper meals. The man won't even do garlic in food. He doesn't really do anything ethnic, except for Tex-Mex and Chinese takeaway, where he always gets the same two dishes, mugugai pan or choripollo. I told my mother that I'm not willing to pick a different place, as this happens every year, and I feel like my birthday dinner should be about what I want, rather than what my father wants. Otherwise, there's no point in pretending we're celebrating my birthday. My mother understood my point, but her frustration comes from feeling like I'm intentionally being stubborn and leaving my father out, which isn't true. If I wanted to leave him out, I would have just not invited him. I told her that there's no reason he can't compromise just this once and either get some plain rice, a tonkatsu cutlet, or teriyaki chicken, or even just eat before or after, like most people who tend to be on the picky side. She offered to just cook a meal at their house for everyone, which I declined because I know it'll be a meal tailored for my father's tastes. And, to put it kindly, she is not adept in the kitchen. This happens every year, and just once, I don't want to just give in and go to the one Mexican restaurant in my hometown so this man can get some choripollo and rice. I'm at the point where I just want to uninvite them, go to the restaurant by myself with my siblings, and then just visit them afterwards and bring some cake. I know that would really hurt my mother, but I know there's no way she'd come to the dinner if my dad didn't want to eat at the restaurant. Comment 1. You don't have to uninvite him or change it. You've invited him. He gets to decide if he comes or not. If he doesn't want to go because of the food, he won't go. You and your mom need to chill on trying to force other people to do exactly what you want. There's a reply that says exactly this. He decides to come or he doesn't. He can eat ahead of time and come for the celebration aspect, or he can put on his big boy pants and just order some teriyaki chicken or beef with rice. He can also order tempura stuff, which is basically just fried proteins and or veggies. It's not his birthday, it's yours. Why would the restaurant be chosen based on his likes? I feel like that reply was to a completely different comment. Comment 2, is your dad argumentative about this? Have you tried just talking to him? OP replies, we don't really talk much. He's a man of few words and gets frustrated very easily. I'll probably chat with him after he gets off work. Comment 3 says, just don't be offended if he doesn't show up, and if he doesn't show up in the future. We constantly have birthdays where my parents will eat because we're all adults and realize that being with family is more important than our selfish desire to be celebrated on a day that shouldn't be that important after you're above a certain age. Whoa! What's up with these comments?
It's surprising to me that they're saying that a birthday shouldn't be important over a certain age versus like you shouldn't be that much of a picky eater over a certain age. Because that's where I was going. Like, it's very common for teenagers and kids to be like very picky eaters, but a full adult man,
Yeah,
you feel like you should have more of a experimental mind at that point.
like it's just this guy's fully been conditioned. Whoever this commenter is, quote, we constantly have birthdays where my parents will eat because we are adults and realize that being with family is more important than our selfish desire to be Hello, it's your parents' selfish desire to just refuse to go to anywhere else besides the place they would want to go to.
Yeah, that's a commenter that's just been manipulated by their parents and is like, well, this is how it should be, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Opie replies to this comment. I have no feelings either way if he shows up or not. My 7 siblings will be there regardless of whether my parents show up.
Wow.
And I live like 30-ish minutes from my parents' holler. So I see them a lot anyways. Comment 4 says, you're free to go to the restaurant you want to for your birthday. Queen for a day and all that. If dad doesn't like the place you've chosen, he's free to stay at home. There's no reason for people's feelings to get hurt over catering or not catering to picky eaters. OP says, I think that's why this situation bothers me a bit, because I feel like asking for one special day isn't that much of an ask. I grew up with 7 other siblings, so our birthdays are really the only time we get that special attention, and it would just be chill to have it be about me for once. There's a 5th comment. I don't think you should compromise. However, instead of your mom cooking a single meal everyone can eat, why not do something where everyone orders takeout from their own preferred place and then eat that at home? That way your dad can eat his bland food with you while you eat Japanese. I don't think it's that much trouble to get food from 2 different restaurants. OP says, I think it's a decent idea. Logistically, I'm not sure it would work just because we live in a more remote area. The Japanese place is like 40 or 50 minutes from the holler we grew up in, and the only restaurants in our town are the Mexican place, the Chinese takeaway, and a bar. It would just be a lot of a hassle to drive that far and then try to bring food back. And there's an update.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
What are we doing? I mean, and we don't even care at the end of the day if he shows up because all our siblings are showing up, but it's just like, yeah, don't let them convince you that you're being the selfish, like, jerk by not catering to your picky eater father's, like, inept taste buds.
Yeah, like he's literally the only one that doesn't want to eat there. Like, you don't need to be molded into his needs. It's not even like he has dietary restrictions, it seems. He just doesn't like it.
He's just a little baby. But hey, sometimes little babies, they learn to cry to get what they want. And there's an update. I had my birthday party at the Japanese restaurant with my 7 siblings, and it went really well. I ended up getting shoyu tonkatsu ramen and takoyaki. My parents ended up not going as my dad dislikes Japanese food and didn't want to settle for any of the alternate menu options I suggested. I ended up just meeting up with them after dinner for cake. Mom made a chocolate chip fudge bundt cake, and we had a nice board game night. It was nice. We played Sequence Myrtle and some other games. What the heck is Myrtle? I don't know what Myrtle is, but I know that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. All you gotta do is search OK Storytime, and you can listen. Oh, you can listen.
You sure can.
And there's a little bit left of this story. Congratulations on your birthday dinner.
Happy freaking birthday, man.
Seems like this wasn't really an issue at all.
You solved it.
There you go. I ended up celebrating my actual birthday this Monday with my boyfriend, who took me out to eat and paid for a little shopping spree, which was just so sweet of him. My mother and siblings called me on my birthday to wish me well, but my dad never reached out. That's pretty normal, though, as he usually forgets what day my birthday is, so I wasn't mad. A lot of Redditors commented that I would regret not compromising and spending my remaining birthdays with my father, which isn't true. After all, I grew up as a middle child with a lot of siblings, and large families often mean you don't end up knowing your parents that well. They're cool, but we're not ultra close normally, so this wasn't a big deal that they didn't show. All in all, everything turned out well, and there weren't any issues. And that's the end of that story. I warned my boyfriend about food safety, and his family paid the price.
Ooh, always gotta read the labels.
So my boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 26 female, both love to cook and are very good at it. We often make meals together, and it's something we really bond over. However, he has a serious issue with cross-contamination that drives me insane. By the way, this comes from user Pacific Phoenix. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah. I'm Carly.
And we are here to give good advice goofily, but we don't know what we're talking about. So let us know what you think in the comments. And OP says, as a result, I feel like I have to constantly keep an eye on him to make sure that he is sanitizing things properly. It frustrates me that I feel like I have to watch him, and it frustrates him whenever I point out something he's done that seems unsanitary. Last Friday evening, we were making carnitas when I noticed that he was using the same knife and cutting board that he had used to chop raw pork to then chop up onions and radishes. I could literally see red splotches on the cutting board from where the meat had been sitting. I pointed out that whenever I need to cut both meat and produce, that I always do the produce first, so that way I can use the same knife and cutting board without having to worry about cross-contamination. I then told him that we couldn't use the onions and radishes for this dish because I was not about to top my carnitas with them now that they were contaminated with raw pork. He flipped out. He kept saying, "It's not like it's chicken." I said, "So what? It's still raw meat, and there's still potential for foodborne illness."
Yeah.
He wouldn't let it go, so finally I was like, fine, I'll eat your tainted, disgusting produce. which pissed him off further.
Mm.
He stormed off into our bedroom and refused to finish cooking with me. Without him knowing, I cut up new onions and radishes for garnishing, and we ate dinner separately. The next day, we were supposed to go to his parents' place as they were hosting a congratulatory dinner because my boyfriend recently got a new job. In the morning, I faked being ill and hung out in bed watching Netflix and reading most of the day. He seemed baffled by my being sick, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I did eat those onions and radishes that you were so pressed about. And he looked irritated after that, but he seemed to believe that I was actually sick. Yeah, because you're lying? He seemed to believe that the thing that I said I was true because of the information I told him based on a lie.
Ding.
When it came time to start getting ready to head out to his parents' house, I said I was still too ill and ended up staying home. His mother messaged me later on explaining that it was extremely rude of me to have missed the dinner and that I should have taken some Pepto-Bismol or something so that I could be there to celebrate with them. I didn't even bother responding, and when my boyfriend returned home that night, I could tell he was bummed, but not mad, that I missed the dinner. Multiple people in his family are now pissed because they think I'm an unsupportive girlfriend. I do feel guilty about missing this dinner since it was important to him, but I was also at my wit's end as I've tried to talk about the contamination thing with him nicely many times in the past, but he always gets pissed off about it and then doesn't change his ways. Am I the a-hole? Yeah. Yes.
I don't know how he was like raised. Like obviously he wasn't raised knowing how to like not cross-contaminate things.
I mean,
and
look,
then...
if you did this the way that he did it, and every time you did it, everything was fine, but every time your partner was also like, that's not the way that you're supposed to do that.
Okay, but this is actually like an issue. Like you can get very sick from this.
But then she lied about it. You would have been fine if you hadn't have
He
like
wasn't listening.
made some
though.
sort of lie about like, yeah, and then I ate your filthy onion radishes and now I'm too sick to go to your congratulatory dinner with your family. That feels like we're getting a little insight into
Yeah,
the dynamic here of how this relationship
she could have
works.
picked a different day to act sick.
Yeah.
Rather
I
than
think they
like the
both suck
congratulatory.
for different
I
reasons.
think they're all horrible.
And they all both suck.
Everything was leaning heavily towards you're the a-hole. Yeah, relevant comments. You're the a-hole. Yes. He should make changes so he doesn't cross-contaminate, but that was very petty of you, and you missed an important event just to prove a point and be spiteful? This is very immature. I've had food poisoning before, bad enough that even several years later I can't eat food that is too off or I get sick again. And even I think this isn't the way to try and get someone to take food safety seriously. Comment 3 says, OP, perhaps just send him some links to articles about foodborne bacteria and studies on cross-contamination next time. Or just don't eat the food he prepares instead of pulling out your inner sociopathic thespian. OP says, I have done this already, and I have tried separate cutting boards. He doesn't care. I mean, you say you cook together a lot. Have you tried switching who does what?
Ooh.
Like you doing the prep work instead of him. Or other more proactive measures like having separate cutting boards for meat and veggies. It's just there's a lot of potential steps here between here's information on why it isn't safe and faking being ill, including having a heart-to-heart about why you want him to take it seriously and how it makes you feel unimportant that he doesn't seem to care about your safety, that it doesn't seem like you took or even considered really. OP says, unfortunately, I've tried these things and none of them have seemed to work. I guess I should have included that in my post. I've got color-coordinated knives and cutting boards specifically because of how often this issue comes up between us. He doesn't use them in a way that helps the situation. He'll grab whatever is closest and then use the same cutting board and knife for everything. It doesn't matter if it's the meat cutting board or not. I've also tried being the sole person to handle meat, but he's gotten upset over this in the past because he's a meat man. And he feels rightly so.
He's a meat
Because
man.
he's a meaty little meat boy. That he's not being allowed to try making new dishes on his own, like a little meat boy. I've expressed my concern to him that I wouldn't want either of us to get sick. His logic is that he's never really cared about this stuff before and he's fine, so why should he care now? So that
I hate that reasoning.
you're like, every time there's a thunderstorm, I go outside with a big metal pole and I hold it up in the air, and nothing bad has ever happened to me, so why do I stop doing it now, huh? His parents are the same way with cross-contamination. I once went to a dinner party where his mother packed up a dessert for us to bring home. She used a container that had raw chicken in it, took the chicken out, rinsed the container with warm water, no soap, dried it, and put the dessert in it. I didn't touch it after we brought it home. Boyfriend was mad that I didn't want any of the dessert because it would be wasteful as he couldn't eat it all by himself. We were hoping to have kids within the next couple of years, and one concern I relayed was that I would not want our children to potentially get sick over something like this. He still views it as not being a problem. As you can see, this issue has come up repeatedly in different ways. I guess what wasn't clear in my post is that this wasn't the first action I've taken regarding the issue. This was more of a final straw, as I've tried a bunch of things, and it just seems to be a habit that he's unwilling to change because he thinks it's not a big deal. So I guess all that's left for me to do is to not eat anything he cooks, which kind of sucks, and he's gotten mad about this before. But I suppose I can't do much else about it. Honestly, you should just stop caring. He's not getting sick. No one in his family's getting sick. He ate that dessert with the salmonella container and everything was fine. Believe in the strength of your gut.
It's just the fact that, like, it is a common thing that, like, it is a proven fact that, like, you could potentially get sick. Not that it's going to happen every single time, but why would you not want to prevent it? Like, and then when you get sick, you're still going to be, it's like flat earthers.
I live life on the edge, man.
Like, it's like the
I
one
live
time
it on the edge.
my ex didn't turn off his car to put gas in it, and I said, you have to turn off the car. And he was like, I don't need to. It's not going to, like, it's never done anything. I said, and then what happens when we blow up? Then what?
That is kind of crazy.
Then I guess,
That's
you know.
what you're saying, basically.
No,
then I
that's
guess we're
different.
fine.
That's different.
Like-
There's no germs at the gas pump. You just so that's different.
That's instant.
That's you very literally at the gas pump, and this we're talking about a different kind
No,
of.
the wilder thing
This
that you
one's
just said is that
from the
there's no
behind.
germs at the gas station.
That also is a hot
That
take.
yeah, I guess it's just not germ centric, you know. Anyway, comment 5. Everyone sucks here. Him, just because he's lucky and has strong stomach acid or whatever, doesn't give him the right to ignore basic food safety when cooking with someone else. Yeah. Plus, based on what you've described, I bet he has washed things by rinsing them off, so you can't even trust clean dishes. If you're at the point where you need to lie about food poisoning to try to solve a problem in a relationship, you should have ended the relationship instead. I don't know about that, but whatever. His mother takes a Pepto-Bismol for food poisoning? And that story in your comments about using a raw chicken container for dessert, she would be a terrible mother-in-law. Ugh, yes, unfortunately, his idea of washing things is just running them under tap water. I've been given utensils with specks of old crusty food crud on them at his parents' house before, so it seems to be another inherited habit. Commenter number 6. Everyone sucks here, including me. Your boyfriend should know basic food safety. Like, seriously, we were taught not to contaminate things with raw meat in primary school. Why does your boyfriend not know this? But you do come across as a bit petty, not attending an event his parents had hosted, just to make a point. Also, buy a set of cutting boards that's labeled with meat, fish, and vegetables, so it's clear to your boyfriend that he should be using different ones. Opie says, well, his parents do similar things with cross-contamination, so I think he feels it's not a big deal. I've seen his parents touch raw meat and then touch things like fridge handles without washing their hands first. That's gross. Additional information from OP after reading and responding to the comments here in the original post. OP says, I just want to clarify that I've sent him links from the FDA before about foodborne illness and cross-contamination, and I have had this conversation with him multiple times. He always gets extremely pissed and defensive and then will act all passive-aggressive towards me for a day or two. He will also get offended if I don't eat something that he's made that's been cross-contaminated. Yeah, that sucks. That guy sucks. That's really lame. I feel like I've blurred the line between what's real and what's not. This guy shouldn't be having little fits about just like, hey, just cut the things in a different order. He's like, oh my God, babe, you freaking, I'm not talking to you for 2 days. Like, you're in the wrong. And OP should learn how to live on the edge a little bit more.
No,
Yeah.
no, that is not the moral of the story
Yeah,
here.
that's
OP
my
needs
moral.
to live on the edge.
Live on the
OP
edge,
needs to not
dude.
be petty, and if he wants to be gross, let him be gross. Just don't eat his crap.
Let your hair down.
If you want to eat
You know,
crap, go eat crap.
there's-
I'm gonna make my own.
I may be completely out of line for saying this. OP comes across to me as someone who has like plastic wrap on their furniture.
Ew.
And that is like what are we doing, girl? Let our hair down. Well,
No, I
sit
feel like she
on the
just
furniture without the
doesn't-
plastic.
I just feel like she doesn't want to get food poisoning when it could easily be prevented.
Yeah, but she never has. Edit.
Oh my god.
I also want to clarify that the onions and radishes were going to be eaten raw as a topping for tacos. All right. So a lot of you keep suggesting I try using color-coded cutting boards. I have done this. We have sat down and had serious conversations about my concerns more than once. If you want more details, you can view this comment, but seriously, please stop suggesting the color-coded cutting boards. I've tried, and they don't just magically fix a habit so deeply ingrained. And there is an update from a month later. I want you guys to stop cooking together. That's it. Just stop it. Quit it. Cook separately. And then when your boyfriend gets bubble guts, you go, I wonder where your bubble guts came from, Mr. Meat Man.
I forgot he was the meat man.
He is.
Mr. Meaty Meat Man. Well, that solved that.
What would you do? Would you keep cooking with this guy if he was your boyfriend?
No way. No, I would be like, what is wrong with you? And I would make a joke until he feels stupid. And then it's like, yeah, I'll bully him.
Well, we've got an update. Let's see.
This is still happening!
Let's see if anyone got salmonella in this update. I received quite a few messages regarding this post and figured I would give an update since something incredibly ironic happened anyway. Someone got sick. That's my guess. To start, many of you suggested that I purchase color-coded knives and cutting boards and blah, 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 blah. We have done this. I sat down with him and explained that although cross-contamination might not be a big deal to him, that it is to me, and that it would make me feel a lot better if he would please take my feelings into consideration. He promised me that he would be more careful, but then, the next afternoon, I saw him put a cutting board away without washing it after having chopped raw chicken on it. This obviously bothered me, but I decided not to say anything since we were fresh out of conflict. That same night, I took him out to a nice dinner as a way to make up for missing the one at his parents' house. We had a lovely time, and things seemed to be on the mend for a few hours. Later that night, however, he developed really terrible food poisoning. And to make matters worse, he was supposed to start his new job the next morning and ended up calling in sick. He blamed me for it because he thought that the food at the restaurant was what made him ill. I told him that I didn't see how it could have been that because we shared dishes and I was feeling fine. Following day, his mother called and let us know that she had just taken his dad to the hospital. Apparently, he had been feeling super unwell, and we all assumed it was related to a chronic disease that he's had for a few years now. He ended up needing multiple blood transfusions, and tests found none other than E. coli in his urine. In the days following, my boyfriend continued to miss work, and I discovered that about half the people that attended his celebration dinner the weekend before ended up sick. Well, it looks like your tactical fib paid off in the long run.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I bet you he'll start doing it now, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Unless
Let's
he
go.
just was like, these are all flukes. This happened because of other reasons unrelated to
Yeah,
cross-contamination.
totally unrelated. A bird pooped in my mouth,
and
that's
I
how I got sick.
accidentally swallowed it.
A bunch of other BS happened with his mother trying to blame me for getting people sick, but I won't even bother going down that rabbit hole at the moment. If you hadn't already guessed, my boyfriend got fired from his job without having worked a single day there. I guess not showing up your first week isn't a good look. On the bright side, he has shown a sudden and intense interest in kitchen hygiene. Apparently, getting sick himself and having his dad end up in the hospital is what it took. It's been a couple of weeks since this all took place. A lot of you suggested that I break things off, and at this point, I think I may be headed in that direction. Honestly, I do think it's your fault. If you hadn't been talking about, like I said, if you just don't believe it's real, it won't affect you.
Get out of here. I can't. I'm going to hit him.
You're
Can I hit
talking
him?
all this stuff. You're talking like, oh, you're going to get sick. And then you cast a spell with your words. That's why they
Oh my
that's why they call it spelling, because when you have words, you cast spells. No, I'm just kidding. He's been gross and he paid the price at his gross family dinner that you skipped and you lied about it, and that's bad, but at least you didn't get the toots. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes of stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. and there's a little bit left to this story.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say?
OP's boyfriend, nasty. And hopefully he learns his lesson. And after him and his dad got sick, now he can finally appreciate his girlfriend and be like, hey, you were right. And I was wrong. And, sometimes that's how it is.
Yeah, there's an edit. Everyone relax. There's an edit. Since some of you were wondering, my boyfriend has gotten sick like this more than once, but he usually has other reasons for why he thinks he's not feeling well. Both of his parents have gotten the stomach flu a few times since we've been together. His dad has a blood disease that has progressed over the years, and so this recent bout of illness put him in pretty bad shape. I always thought my boyfriend had a sensitive stomach. We only began living and cooking together about a year ago, and I hadn't realized the severity of his lack of kitchen hygiene until then. Commenter 1 says, I'm still stuck on the detail of him putting away a cutting board used for chicken as if it was a clean board to use later. Is he really just absent-minded or so petty he wanted to make you all sick? OP said he used a dry paper towel to wipe off the chicken juices and put the cutting board away.
No.
I'm breaking up with that guy.
Yeah, you can't. No, that's...
I'm breaking up with that guy. That's revolting.
It truly is. Because then you just contaminated every single thing in the drawer. And also, what happens when I'm like, I want to, cut an apple. And then you bring it out, and it's like, clean cutting board. Boom. Salmonella in the hospital. You're out, dog.
I will stand on business because, look, if you guys couldn't tell, a lot of what I've said in this episode is maybe a little hee-hee-hoo-hoo not true. But I will stand on that salmonella is not that dangerous. Salmonella is not that serious unless you are an infant or a baby or like an old person with like a blood
so
disease.
Close to potential redemption.
It's
of
not.
admitting it.
If you're a healthy
wrong.
adult and you get salmonella, it's like you don't have to go to the hospital. You're not in danger of your life. That's true. Everyone can look that up. I'm moving on. I cleaned it and the area where it was stored after he left the kitchen. Commenter 2. It sounds like a habit. I can't believe he hasn't gotten sick before, which we all know he has. I can't believe OP is staying with him and his literal toxic family. OP says, I am not 100% staying with him. I'm leaning towards breaking up, but I haven't done so yet for a few reasons. One is he has totally changed his ways in the kitchen thus far, and 2, he is jobless again. And 3, it had taken his dad a while to recover from being sick, and it didn't seem right to break it off during that time. He's very caring and polite to me in other scenarios, but this particular subject has always triggered him hard. We've been really good lately, but I can't get over the fact that this is what it took for him to change his ways. I also think the main reason he's more serious now is that his dad being in the hospital scared the crap out of him. It just bothers me that rather than being considerate of how I felt about it, it took a major event to get him to change. I also don't think I can put up with his mother's attitude long term. Comment 3 says, but this particular subject has always triggered him hard. I'm wondering if there's a link with the hygiene habits of his mother. In any case, think long and hard about it before having children with him. What are his and his family's stance on allergies, vaccinations, masks? OP says, as far as I know, no one has allergies. They do wear masks and have gotten their vaccines. Comment 4 says, I think it's clear this entire family is lacking in kitchen and food hygiene knowledge. Or habits. Also, I'm just curious how his mother blames you for making everyone sick at the meal she prepared that you were not at. They all seemed like a lot of work for grown adults. Hope he's worth it. OP says, I'm usually the designated dessert person. I had made a double batch for 2 cakes the day before his dinner party and before our argument about the carnitas so that we could bring 1 cake to the dinner and keep 1 at home. So even though I ended up not going, there was still a dish contributed by me. It was a layered sponge cake with strawberry mousse, and she claimed that I must have used moldy strawberries. His mom's stupid. Oh, no. Dang.
Oh, no.
It just runs in the family, dude. That's crazy. I know this isn't the case because I literally doubled the batch and then divided everything by 2 for the 2 cakes and didn't get sick from the one that was kept at home. Also, I definitely would have noticed if there was mold. I think she was just looking for someone to blame other than herself, her husband, or her son. Comment 5, does your boyfriend also blame you for getting everyone else sick? Reading your post, it seems like there are some improvements regarding his kitchen hygiene, but then you say that you might be headed towards breaking up. I'm confused. OP says, things have definitely improved between us, but it still bothers me that rather than taking my feelings into consideration in the first place, It took a major event to make him change. Okay, so let me just really quickly say why that bothers me. I wanted my mom to stop smoking cigarettes for like my whole life, and she never did. And then she got diagnosed with and stopped smoking cigarettes. Do you think I was unhappy about that? I'm like, great, she stopped smoking. Yes, this is terrible. I wish she would have done it just because I wanted her to, but she stopped. I'm happy she stopped. I also don't know if his mom's toxicity is something I'm willing to continue to deal with. He initially blamed me for his food poisoning, which also still bothers me. But once we found out that other people were sick, he took that back. In sort of a roundabout way, he's admitted that it was most likely something at the dinner party that resulted in food poisoning, and he's told his mom to cut the crap with blaming me once or twice. But other than that, he hasn't had much else to say in terms of who is to blame. Comment 6 says, it's kind of weird to me that your boyfriend would get fired when he was sick with E. coli. Even if he hasn't worked a single day, that's a pretty good reason to push the start date. OP says, yeah, I don't know. It was a 12-month contract job, and when he initially called in sick, they asked if he would be able to just remote instead. Obviously, he wasn't able to if he was in and out of the bathroom constantly. Also, his dad, who was already immunocompromised, is the only one that was confirmed to have E. coli through testing. As far as I know, no one else went to the doctor. Well, that's the end of that story.
My girlfriend criticizes everything I eat, and it's hurting our relationship.
Well, stop eating the wrong slop.
My girlfriend, 25 female, and I, 28 male, have been going out for 10 months now, and about 6 months in, I lost my job due to the vid. Because of that, we were spending a lot more time together, and I think that is when she really started noticing my diet. By the way, this comes from PatsFan929, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comment. NOP says, a couple of disclaimers before I go further. First, I freely admit my diet was not the best before I met her. Second, her dad is a diabetic, so I think that's where some of this is coming from.
Yeah, what's the worst your diet has ever been? I'll go first. Corn dogs and goldfish. 3 meals a day. I was 19.
For how long?
Long time.
Man.
More than a year?
For like a month. I was just eating frozen corn dogs and goldfish all day.
The male peak physique and diet right there.
Yes. Peak. The European mind could never comprehend the that I ate at the age of 19.
Anyways, long story short, I changed my diet at her urging quite a bit. I cut back heavily on fried food, down to once or twice a month from multiple times a week.
How high was your cholesterol? Oh my gosh.
He had cholesterol of it.
He was cholesterol.
Hi, my name's Cholesterol.
Oh my gosh, the blind one. That sounds like Carly's dream other than soda.
I have entirely too much popcorn in my diet, but I could
Dude,
be addicted to worse things.
If white cheddar popcorn didn't get kernels all up in my gums that bothered me for like days after I eat it, I would eat nothing but that.
I added more fruits and vegetables, an apple and a banana every day at least, along with veggies multiple times a week, where before it was very little. I also cut back on pasta and added more turkey, chicken, and fish. For reference, I am not skinny, but I am not obese either. If anything, I could stand to lose about 15 or 20 pounds since the pandemic started, but otherwise I'm completely healthy and she knows this. For her diet, she eats exclusively fish, chicken, and Caesar salad while exercising an hour per day. I am unable to exercise that much due to bad knees that I both inherited and previously injured, which she is also aware of.
You know how you fix those bad knees though? Gotta work it out. It's like, I don't know, I'm not an exercise scientist, expert or anything, but it's
I mean, pending how bad he messed up his knees, he really might not be able to.
Well, no, it's like working out the muscles that support the knee and then also the muscles that take the load off of the tendons. The weaker your legs get, trust me on this one, the worse your whole body is. As a man with weak legs, I suffer this every day of my life.
However, over the past month or so, she has started heavily criticizing my diet again, unprompted, to the point where she does it every single meal she sees me eat. Things like, do you really need that much bread? When it would be my second piece at a restaurant and she eats the rest of the basket. Or, you already had red meat this week. Things like that. Whenever I hold firm, she immediately starts acting like a child who does not get her way. She will start blaming me, saying it's my fault we are arguing. She will say she is unhappy and that she cannot take much more of this, and other things that threaten the relationship. I will point out the very obvious double standard, but that only makes her angrier. As this is my first relationship, I do not know what to do, but let it go for the fear of making it worse. I finally decided enough was enough when, on Friday, we went out on a date night that was also a trip to pick up a cake for her parents' birthday at a restaurant that she had never been to. We are from different towns, and she lives 40 minutes away. Also, my mom got this cake and brought it one time, and my girlfriend really liked it. I decided to get the roast prime rib, as I had not had it in a very long time from there. She immediately questioned it, and I stood my ground, but I also got broccoli with it to calm her down.
This is crazy.
She then started crying as soon as the waitress left and said things like, I do not want to be here, I just want to go home. And if you get mad at me, I'm going to call my dad to pick me up. All while still crying.
What is she, 12?
Yeah.
Does
what's
this girl
going
have
on
like
here?
really bad food trauma from her dad?
I'm really unsure, but
From the
it's like
diabetes?
it's feeling like there's a definite element of control here that she
Yeah.
needs to, whether it's like self-soothing or whatever, like she's got something going on, and by projecting her like desires for your, diet or whatever you eat, it allows her to cope with it in a way, I guess. That's my guess.
I basically told her that this has to stop. I cannot deal with her criticizing my meals every day. Fast forward to after the worst dinner I have ever had, and we made it back to her parents' house. I went to her mom thinking maybe she could talk some sense into her because I had been trying to do it for the past week with no success. And I told her what happened. Her mom agreed with me and basically said to my girlfriend, you cannot tell other people what to do. It's going to make them do the opposite. And if you continue to do this, you cannot be in a relationship with anyone. Yesterday she was fine, and it seemed like she had taken the message to heart. However, at dinner tonight, she went right back to her old self, and I feel like I'm out of options. I don't want to break up with her because I still love her, but I also cannot take the constant criticism. I have a million other things to worry about now, between working a full-time job again that is actually a career and going to school full-time as well. On top of that, I then have to worry about what is my girlfriend going to think about this choice? I know this may seem silly, but it has gotten to the point where 95% of our fights are this issue. I feel like I'm doing nothing but sitting, eating, and minding my own business. I have already done almost a 180 from where my diet previously was, and I have pointed this out to her many times. I feel like if I give in to her, she will just find something to criticize about my next meal, and it will be a never-ending cycle. I am really at my breaking point, and I don't know what to do. Any help is much appreciated. We have some comments, but
It's a hard place to be in, but honestly, I think you're at a spot where you just have to have a conversation that's uncomfortable.
yeah.
And you have to put it on the line and be like, look, I used to eat really bad. I'm very happy with the way I eat now. I'm going to eat exactly how I want to. And if that is a deal breaker for you and you can't deal with it, then I think this isn't going to work. And put the ball in her court. And that's all you can really do at this point.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
she's criticizing you every time, and she should be kind of supporting you, because if you did a complete 180 of your diet and you changed it, not just for her, but for yourself,
His habits are so much better now.
100%.
Yeah.
And she should be commending you for that and being like, I'm proud of you for doing this, not, battering you down for every time you eat like an extra piece of
Yeah.
bread, or like it's, you get a cheat meal. It's very, very, some people are saying she needs therapy because this is,
She does.
Yeah.
She
This
got
is
food
not-
issues.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
approach it not with, any negative, just approach it very factually, and then also just be curious of like, why do you think, this is happening? It's hard for me to understand why you're so consistently criticizing me for this,
Yeah.
and I just want to know why, because I eat fine.
I think
Yeah.
it's
You know?
definitely the relationship with her father. That's probably what it stems from, but I don't want to just jump to that conclusion. So
No, I think you're right. It's just because her father had diabetes and stuff that she was worried about. It sounded very deep and therapist-y the way you said it. It was good.
Thank you.
thank you.
What Keon said. It just made me giggle because if people didn't catch the part that her dad was also diabetic, it sounds like you're just saying that she has daddy issues.
She has daddy diet issues.
Diabetes.
Diabetes, indeed.
Well, that could be two different options. That could be two different kinds of problems.
Top comments. Desert Rain says, this is who she is. You've talked to her about it multiple times, and even had her mom talk to her about it, and she hasn't changed. She obviously isn't willing to stop this behavior. Your only real options are to break up, just put up with the constant criticism and fighting, or stop fighting her on it and just let her choose all your meals for you. Personally, I'd break up, but if you don't want to do that, your only other option is to just live with her dictating your diet. She's obviously not interested in stopping her behavior. Deleted says, I'm a registered dietitian, and it sounds like she has some symptoms of disordered eating. The need to be in control and the obsession with healthy food suggests orthorexia. I am not qualified to make a diagnosis, but I strongly suspect she needs professional help from a dietitian or perhaps a therapist. I'm sorry to hear you are both struggling. And we have an update.
Huzzah!
Yeah, at first I was gonna be like, call her out because she's eating Caesar salad, and if she has like the Caesar dressing in there, like that's not healthy at all. But it was like,
I think she's pretty healthy.
no
She only eats chicken, salmon and Caesar salad, and she works out an hour every
Well, also that's
day.
kind of crazy that she can't like if that's all she eats, and she like
Yeah.
goes insane. Like, oh
Well,
my
she's got
god,
a
you're
problem
having
with
red
food.
meat.
That's the thing. Like, you can have a problem with food because you're too healthy with
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Update. First, thank you for all the advice. I honestly thought I would get responses along the lines of, deal with it, it's not a big deal. But the advice you all have given has really helped. I had a conversation with her before leaving for work and basically put my foot down, for real. I straight up said to her that if this behavior continues, I will be breaking up with her. She said she will stop, but I have my doubts. For those of you who said that she may have orthorexia or another eating disorder, after reading the symptoms, I am inclined to agree with you. But speaking from experience, bringing it up to her or her parents will only lead to firm denials and a refusal to seek help.
Which is crazy to be like, yeah, you show her the cold hard facts of like, hey, you might have this, and she'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Well, that's common. People to just deny that they have an issue when they do.
With that in mind, I have reserved a rental SUV. I have a Camaro, which does not have enough trunk space for my stuff, at my local place for Saturday to bring what I have back to my mom's house, in case her behavior doesn't change. I have also started looking at apartments near my new job, since it requires me to live in the county as a condition of employment on the chance that this doesn't work out. I am not tossing in the towel on the relationship, but I figure it's better to be prepared just in case, and I can always cancel the rental.
Yeah, I was gonna say, having a move-out SUV ready to go feels a little bit like throwing the towel in.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
We have an update 9 months later, though. Do you think she fixes her ways or not?
Yeah, I think they're having a baby.
Food baby?
Hopefully not.
So, I know I said I would post an update that Saturday, and I didn't, and I apologize for that. Life got busy and I forgot to do so. Anyways, on to the update. After speaking with her, she actually did stop trying to control my diet. She didn't make any comments about my diet or what I chose to eat. I think me standing up to her made her realize I was serious, and that the relationship was going to be over if she continued with the behavior. This still sounds like you guys broke up, though. Here we go. Long story short, though, we broke up in July of this year over other issues that clearly made us incompatible. I realized that it was a toxic relationship, and much of her other behaviors were manipulative, which one of the original commenters pointed out, and straight up just childish.
I mean, cue the, if we don't leave here now, I'm going to call my dad to pick me up.
Yeah. She and her family were also very entitled and could do no wrong in their eyes since they came from a lot of money. The good news is that I'm currently in a new relationship with someone who is so much better in every way. It's literally like I'm dating the female version of me. We have so much in common, think about things and view the world the same way. It's only been a little over a month of officially dating, but things are going really great so far, and I have high hopes for a future together in whatever form that may be. And by the way, I hope that in the future, you guys will listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, it looks like you could have just gone with the move-out SUV in the first place.
Sounds like it would have saved us some time.
Hey, but sometimes things just don't work.
Glad she stopped criticizing your diet for those last few months, though. It's a plus, I guess.
It's nice. It's nice to be able to not be criticized for things that are fine.
But we got a little bit left. Ooh.
What is the crime? Enjoying a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
Democracy Manifest.
This is Democracy Manifest.
The funny thing is, after my breakup, I said to myself and those around me that I wouldn't be dating for a while, most likely into the next year, and then this relationship fell into my lap when I wasn't even looking for one. It's crazy how things work out. Thank you again to everyone who commented on the original post. Turns out most of you were right, that I should have ended the relationship right then. I truly believe, though, that if I had done it, I would not have found the woman I have found now. Was she one of your girlfriend's friends?
Well, no, I mean, it's just, you know, everything that happens.
Timing, but it sounded funny.
Everything that happens leads us to the point that we are right now. Everything that happens, including the French Revolution.
Okay. Relevant comments. Gambling Traveler says, good for you. Please remember this from your earlier post. What is my girlfriend going to think about this choice? Don't date someone that you have to walk on eggshells around. My first relationship when I was a teenager was full of this, so luckily I learned at an early age. You are starting a bit later than I did, so just make sure to remember this. Opie says, thank you. Yeah, I definitely learned a valuable lesson. Chuck Ringslinger says, I take it the ex hasn't made things easy? OP says, the days following the breakup, no, she didn't. Her parents intervened too and made things even more difficult in terms of getting back some of my stuff. After that, I haven't heard from any of them, and I haven't tried to contact them, which is for the best. Dreadful Water says, when you eat and order things in front of the new person, is it relaxing now? OP says, very much so. We like and eat a lot of the same foods. She's also from a different country, so she's been introducing me to some foods from her country.
Nice.
That's the end of that story.
Very nice, very
Lovely.
nice.
Found someone that
Being
appreciates
introduced.
food.
Yes, very nice.
Food.
Like Keon, who loves food.
A
I love
succulent
food.
Chinese
Meal?
Same timing on that.
But that's the end of that story. And we got another one.
I refused to cater to my vegetarian brother. It made the family upset.
Why does only one brother need catering? That's a lot of food.
I feel like I've spilled into the twilight zone with this whole argument. So tell me what's up, internet folks. Background, I, 31 female, and my brother Mark, 35 male, do not get along. When he was a teen, he saw a documentary on factory farming, we all know the one, and decided to become a vegetarian. By the way, this comes from Suspicious Basil 7882, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So he got very, very annoying about it. Very, very annoying about it quickly, but my dad shut him down when he started trying to get the rest of us to be vegetarian with him. Then he went to college and made a bunch of very strange friends and went militantly vegan.
Oh, there is a very specific subsection of vegans that are militant.
It's his entire personality. I stopped talking to him after he threw a fit at one of my birthday dinners being at a steakhouse and spammed my messages and social media with pictures of mistreated cows. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
My parents have been trying to repair the situation, and for a while it did seem like Mark was getting better, so I've been letting him back into contact gradually. Then he started dating Pam, who is some kind of vegan influencer.
Ooh.
She is apparently moderately popular online, but I have no idea what she does exactly. I don't know if Mark was trying to impress her or what, but last Thanksgiving, he insisted that my mom cook at least a vegetarian meal or they wouldn't come on ethical grounds.
Wait, I'm sorry.
My mom just wanted everyone to get along on her favorite holiday, so she agreed. It was not a fun meal. This year, my parents have downsized for retirement and my mom is having health problems. I bought their house when they moved, so my mom asked me to host Thanksgiving, so it would be like usual. I told everyone in the group chat so Mark and Pam could make travel arrangements, and Pam immediately started gushing about all the vegan replacement recipes she could give me to replace the traditional ones. I said send me a main dish recipe they like, and I would give it a shot, but I'm making the traditional meal otherwise, and there should be plenty of things that they can eat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Trying to be like, every meal needs to be vegan because I'll be there. That's some unilaterally goofy behavior.
Mark and Pam have been arguing about this with me for days, and then Mark said that if I wouldn't make a meat-free meal, they wouldn't come.
Ooh.
Here we go. It's a standoff. It's a meat-off.
Oh.
This upset my mom, who asked me to just make what she made last year to keep the peace, but I told her that Mark needs to get over himself and I'm not coddling him. I am having turkey on Thanksgiving. My dad privately agrees with me, but Mark threatening to not come is upsetting my mom so much that he's worried it will impact her health. That's not a big. It's not a big deal.
It's not a biggie.
That's not a biggie.
It's no biggie.
But also not zero chance that that these might be some of the last family holidays we have with her. My mom thinks I'm putting turkey over my family, and I'm not so sure anymore. Am I the a-hole?
We can, compromise. Like, okay, we can make some dishes, but all my dishes being vegan, I'm out.
Edit. Whoa, this blew up. So the answers to some common questions here. As I said, I've already offered to make sure that there is a main dish and sides they can eat. Mark and Pam will not show up if anyone else eats meat at this meal. If any meat is served to anyone, they won't come.
Okay, you're not coming. It's that easy.
During multiple meals that day or across days is a no-go. I'm a newly minted care physician and at an understaffed hospital during a major holiday week, and I have a limited window of time between shifts. I have time for one gathering, and I would rather not waste it being a miserable one like last year. Mark and Pam can't host because they live in a van at present. Sorry.
Mark and Pam in their van.
Pam in their van.
Doing what they can.
I am also willing to not have them in my kitchen for hours, witching about the meat in my fridge, the cookware, the utensils, and whatever else they can find to complain about. The time it would take for them to come eat, socialize for a couple of hours, and leave is the maximum I'm willing to let them be in my home. Although it would admittedly be interesting to watch them try and host a family Thanksgiving out of a van.
You can do that.
That would be...
You just pull the van up to like a park.
Now, it's very unlikely that my mom is going to pass away anytime soon. It's just a non-zero chance. She's understandably worried about it and is in the pessimism stage of grieving her health. She has a good prognosis, and most people with her condition pull through and live for a long time afterwards. If it is by some chance the last Thanksgiving, I don't think a repeat of last year's Thanksgiving would do her any good either, as everyone left that table unsatisfied and unhappy.
That just sounds like the worst way to spend time at a table.
So we have a next edit. A possible situation to this that I came up with while talking to my partner is to just work through Thanksgiving instead. The attending on shift that day would probably be happy to stay home, so swapping wouldn't be hard. Mom would be sad about canceling, but she knows my job is demanding and I'm saving lives, so she won't be upset. Mark and Pam can punch rocks. To be honest, eating hospital turkey between emergencies sounds better than my family Thanksgiving right now.
Dude, I've heard that hospital food's actually really good.
Opie says, I'll have to turn it over some more and think about it. Edit number 2. Problem mostly solved.
All right.
Here we go.
Mostly?
Dad finally hit a critical mass and told Mark that if he doesn't get his butt here on Thanksgiving to support Mom unconditionally without a single complaint or argument the entire time, he was disowning and disinheriting him the next time he needed money or help he could forget it.
Mark is theoretically coming to Thanksgiving. Pam is not. Dad has already ordered the turkey. The recipes Pam sent are ridiculously complicated, so I worked out a deal with one of the nurses at work who is vegan. She's going to make a couple of her favorite dishes ahead of time that I can bake the day of for Mark. We'll see if he actually manages to show up. Verdict was not the a-hole. We have some relevant comments.
Let's do it.
JDBugXD says, my aunt was vegan. She brought her own meals to family gatherings. Why can't they do the same? Not the a-hole. Exactly. OP says they object to participating in anything that involves meat. They won't even go to non-vegetarian restaurants. They're really extreme about it. OP was called out on calling their brother weird. OP replies, I'm calling his college friends weird because they were legit weird. One ended up joining a cult. One believed in drinking urine as medicine. One had moldy white people dreads.
Ugh.
Not delicious. And one of them tried to recruit me into his polycule when I was 18. I'm contemptuous of my brother because he roundly deserves contempt. All right, Shakespeare, go off. He's a self-righteous, entitled freeloader that spends his life being angry at everyone for ridiculous reasons, has barely ever had a job or contributed anything to society, and blames everyone else for anything bad that happens to him due to his own stupid life choices. And we have an update. Thanksgiving with the vegan Beother update. That's how it was spelled. That's how it was spelled.
Oh.
And the next line says brother, not Beother. So
I love how that's cleared up.
thank you for immediately
Thanks for
clarifying. People have been asking, and I'm finally out from under the balls to the walls madness at work for a little bit, so buckle up, folks. I have a story.
Let go.
So, recap. Mom is sick. Wanted a nice family Thanksgiving at my house, since it used to be the family house, and their new place is small. Vegan brother and his girlfriend refused to come unless the whole meal was vegan or vegetarian, like no meat allowed for anyone. I'm not okay with being blackmailed over food in my own home. It was upsetting my mom enough that before Thanksgiving, my dad called my brother and told him that if he did not show up to Thanksgiving, support my mom and be pleasant to everyone without a single comment about food, he was disowned. My brother agreed to come. His girlfriend opted out at the time. My dad and I planned the meal. I made sure there were plenty of vegetable dishes available and made a deal with a vegan nurse at work to make me a couple of vegan casseroles that I could bake for my brother. My mom was happy and it was looking like everything was solved. My brother arrived the night before Thanksgiving with his girlfriend after all, in their van, which they live in. This was unplanned, the girlfriend being here and their van and all that, but at least they showed up. They intended to camp in my yard. I told them absolutely not. They asked if they could stay in my guest room then, and I said that I had not planned for them to stay there, and given their previous behavior, I thought it best if they went and got a hotel room. Plus, they have a large breed dog with them, and I don't have a fenced yard, and I don't want the dog to be in the house. They can't afford a hotel room. He calls Mom. The community my parents live in does not allow overnight guests under 50, so they can't sleep there. I'm sorry, has no one ever heard of breaking the rules? To end the debate, I pay for a hotel room and allow the dog to hang out in the garage for the night because the hotel doesn't accept pets that large that aren't service animals. Thanksgiving Day, my parents come over, other family members and my partner come early to hang out, and everything is going fine. Brother and girlfriend roll up at about 11. They both smell strongly of the devil's lettuce, which is not legal here, which makes things awkward from the start. Girlfriend comes into the kitchen to help, even though everything is almost done, and starts taking pics with her phone without permission and telling my very southern great aunt, who's been cooking since God was a child, how to make cornbread dressing the right way, aka the vegan way.
That's such a funny line. Who's been cooking since God was a child.
Several bless your hearts later, girlfriend is firmly escorted to the living room instead, since she's a guest. Meanwhile, my brother has cornered my partner, who is also in the medical field and has the patience of a saint, about his vaccine conspiracies, and my dad is just letting it happen because at least he's not talking about food. Finally, we're ready to eat, and everyone is making a plate. Girlfriend asks a million questions about ingredients and then just gets small portions of 2 side dishes, not even the actual vegan dishes made by my vegan friend. My brother eats all the vegetable dishes but comments about how girlfriend makes them better. I notice girlfriend gets up to go to the bathroom a lot, and at one point, she's gone for a while, so I go check on her to make sure she's okay. Y'all, this woman was filming a TikTok video for her channel in my bedroom.
Oops.
I was speechless. She apologized, and she said, I thought this was the guest room, and I just needed a minute away from the smell of meat. I told her to stop and go downstairs, and that since it's illegal here to record video on private property without the owner's permission, if she posted anything she recorded in my house, I would press charges.
Wow.
After we were done eating, my brother pulled me off to the side and told me that I was a witch for threatening his girlfriend. My partner happened to be close enough to hear and apparently told my dad. Dad asked my brother to help with something outside for a minute. I don't know what was said, but my brother came back in looking pissed, reminded girlfriend that they needed to head back to beat traffic, said goodbye to Mom, and they left in a hurry. So much of a hurry that they forgot the dog, who was still out in the garage. And by the time my brother answered a call, he was so worked up, he cussed me out and told me to just keep the dog since I had to have everything my way and his girlfriend was yelling in the background when he hung up. My mom either completely missed what was going on or is pretending she doesn't know so we don't have to talk about it. But she said she had a good Thanksgiving and it was nice to have everyone together. My dad hasn't said anything about what he told my brother, but he wants to take mom to the beach for Christmas and asked if my partner and I wanted to go without saying anything about it to my brother and his girlfriend. And by the way, you can tell your brother, tell your girlfriend, tell your parents, tell them about the full episodes with stories just like this that they can find on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeart app and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and the complete archive is in the palm of your hand.
That's right.
My cousin checked up on girlfriend's channel and says that she's posted videos, but they're from the hotel the night before and the van afterwards, so at least she has the sense to be warned. I've sent messages, and so have my dad and partner, offering to try to get the dog back to them, but so far, neither of them are talking. I don't want to take the poor thing to the shelter. It's not his fault, and he's not a bad dog. He's just big and excitable.
Oh.
And we have some relevant comments here. From Milo GIZ, is there a way that you can keep the dog or find him a good home? I will tell Brother Dear that he and his girlfriend is no longer welcome at my house. OP says my partner has pack bonded to the dog at this point, and the plan was to move here in January anyway, so now we have a new dog. He seems to be enjoying his escape from van life so far. And that is the end of that story. Yeah, I was going to say, if you got a big dog, dude, you can't keep a big dog in a van.
God.
And your Poison Tonic in the comments says, yeah, they don't want a dog in a van.
I refuse to change my graduation dinner plans just because my sister didn't approve.
Well, sister, are you the one graduating? Didn't think so.
I, 23 female, will be graduating in December with my master's degree. Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Smarty petardy over here. My grad program is online and through the same university where I got my bachelor's. I've lived at home for the last year and a half, 3 hours away from my old college town, and worked full-time while finishing out this degree.
Nice.
Initially, I wasn't going to make a big fuss out of this graduation. I didn't want to deal with all the travel, and I didn't want to ask anyone to make it the 3-hour trek up to my college town, especially since my graduation is 5 days before Christmas. By the way, this comes from user Lyrical Reader. So, my parents wanted to do something nice for me since I'll be the first in our family to have this higher degree. After we talked about it, I started to like the idea of doing something special. So, my uncle is letting us use his rental house for free for the weekend. By the way, I love his rental house. And we have invited him, my siblings, their significant others, and their children. I even called my best friend, who lives far away in another state, and she said she wouldn't miss it and would love to spend time with me in our old college town. For further context as to who will all be coming, I have 2 older half-sisters and 1 younger full sister. My oldest sister is married and has my goddaughter, 3 female. My second oldest sister is bringing her boyfriend, and my niece, 15 female. My youngest sister is currently attending the same school and is getting her bachelor's. Sorry, I know that was a lot, but you need all of that context to understand now why I might be the a-hole. To celebrate my graduation, I've booked a reservation for all of us at my favorite restaurant in town. This isn't just my favorite restaurant in my old college town, but one of my favorite restaurants out of all the places I've ever been. Everyone that's been invited has eaten there before. I brought this up at a recent family gathering, most notably in front of my oldest sister, and her previously sunny disposition darkened enough for me to notice. She said that they don't really have anything for her daughter, the 3-year-old, and my goddaughter. I just kind of went quiet and tuned into other conversations being had around us. She didn't come right out and say it, but she made it clear that she didn't want to go eat there and that she'd appreciate it if I picked somewhere else. We're going to let the 3-year-old dictate where we're eating. Bring a peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, just bring your own little bag of chicken nuggets.
I've kept the reservation because 1, everyone loved it when we went before, and 2, my goddaughter will quite literally eat anything. The kid is not picky at all and has no allergies, and the restaurant, while it doesn't have a kids menu, has plenty of kid-friendly options. I honestly wasn't planning on changing my plans but I started to feel a little guilty, especially when I feel like I'm asking a lot by inviting everyone to come. So, am I the a-hole for not just picking a different restaurant? Am I being inconsiderate for not catering to my guests and picking a place that would make my sister more comfortable? And there is a small edit, but before we get into that, I feel like clearly the answer is no. It's your graduation.
Yeah.
And like you said, Angie, the restaurant will probably be able to cater to a 3-year-old to some level.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe like just talk with her a little bit. Like, okay, so I mean, this looks like kids can eat that because it's not like she's like 1, right? Like, isn't the kid like
Kid's 3?
3? Yeah. Like, you know, wait, can she eat this? Can she eat that? Like, I feel like these are good options. To me, I've seen her eat this stuff before. Maybe, I don't know. You'll have to decide on that one, OP. But and then try to figure out other options. Like, okay, well, what if I brought this for her? What if I made a little sandwich for her?
Right.
Like, try to work out some sort of other little thing.
Literally, the simplest explanation is like, there's actually more food on Earth that exists.
Yeah.
That you could theoretically, I don't know, bring with you in some sort of container of some kind.
Right.
If those exist, I don't know.
Yeah, like if an adult brought their own food to a restaurant, that'd be weird. But if you brought a 3-year-old food for that 3-year-old to a restaurant, I feel like people would understand.
There's an edit to add here. I've got a little overwhelmed by all the comments. Wanted to say thank you to everyone offering congratulations to me. The cost of the restaurant, yeah, it's a nicer place with a little pricey menu. In the last 10 years, my parents have built up their steady careers and are now very comfortable financially. Things that were never possible when I was younger are now possible, so they will probably be footing the bill for everyone at dinner. However, even if my parents don't end up picking the whole tab, my sister and her husband both have cushy government jobs where they both make pretty good money, so I don't think cost is the issue. Honestly, I think it might be an image thing because I love my sister and brother-in-law, but they haven't done a great job at disciplining my goddaughter. She's always very good when she's with me or my parents, her grandparents, but they seem to struggle to get her to listen to them. I think my sister may be worried that her daughter will embarrass her by misbehaving in a nice setting like that, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. This is all speculation on my part. My goddaughter is not at all a picky eater. There are a few things here and there that she doesn't like, but overall, she'll eat anything you put in front of her. This restaurant is a rustic Italian place with different flatbreads and even burgers and fries. There are plenty of options that she'll eat, so I don't think that's the issue either. Also, this isn't like an adults-only place. I've seen younger kids go there many times in the past. Some have asked about my relationship with my sisters. My older sisters are my half-sisters. My dad was married and divorced before he met my mom. When he and my mom got together, they had me and my younger sister. There's a pretty significant age gap between us, but they've always been my sisters, never just half-sisters to me. The oldest with the baby is 36 female, and the second oldest with the 15-year-old is 35 female. Again, for reference, I'm 23 female, and my younger sister just turned 20 back in June. I saw a few questions about me getting my master's so young, and again, thank you for all the well wishes. I went into college in August of 2020 and graduated early with my bachelor's back in December of 2023. I immediately jumped straight into my master's program. I wanted this higher degree and knew if I took a gap year or something like that, I'd probably never come back. So I hustled up to my course load and will be finished very soon. Now, onto the update because the situation has been evolving. As I mentioned before, my 2 older sisters are going to be there, my best friend, and my younger sister, who is currently still in her undergrad years at the same school. For further context, I'm the first of my parents' children to not only get a master's degree, but to complete any kind of college degree at all. My oldest sister, with the baby, went to my school for about half a semester before dropping out and joining the army, and my second oldest sister never went to school at all. Now, my school is notorious for being a party school. I won't say what university, ASU, but we've been in the news several times for a
ASU.
myriad of reasons.
ASU.
That's actually ASU.
That's ASU.
Which they do have very prestigious programs.
They do.
Certain ones, for sure. But that's funny.
But bear down.
That being said, I thought it might be fun for me, my best friend, and my sisters to go out after dinner and grab a drinky poo. Kind of like a girls' night to cap off the evening. There are a few places that were my favorites, and because my second oldest sister never went to this school, we thought it would be cool to show her around. She seemed really excited to see it too. My oldest sister, let's just go ahead and call her Danielle, was not a fan of this idea. She said in front of the whole family that she didn't want to go out with my second oldest sister, Renee, because Danielle said that Renee can get embarrassing when she drinks. She even tried to get me to stop talking about going out altogether because she didn't want the idea planted in Renee's head. To be fair, Renee has gotten pretty belligerent a few times in the past, but she's grown up and met a wonderful partner who is good both for her and to her, and she isn't that same irresponsible kid anymore. She genuinely seemed really excited to go out and see my old stomping grounds. If we do go out together, because it was just an idea that popped into my head, she won't act like that now. We wouldn't be doing it to go get super wasted and then come home to wake up all the kids. It would really be more like a tour for Renee to see campus, and maybe we'll have a drink or two. And we do have a little bit more story left here, but I think I'm just going out. Like, I'm not even being like, Danielle, why are you like this? I'm just going like, okay, you don't have to come.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, like, we're just letting you know that that's what we're going to be doing. Like, you're still welcome to come if you change your mind, but like, you know, you don't need to.
So let's finish this off. I dug my heels in and said I'd like for Renee to come out with us. Danielle says she doesn't want to go out after dinner now, but I know my sister. She'll get really bad FOMO and end up coming anyway. At this point, I'm kind of tired of tiptoeing around her feelings, so I'm just going to say to everyone, if you want to come, come. If you don't, don't.
There you go.
If you want to come to dinner and go out with us, by all means, we'd love to have you. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine as well. I made it abundantly clear to all parties involved that they don't have to come. I would totally understand given the travel element and the timing of it all. I just wanted to extend the invite so they had the option. I told everyone that under no circumstances are they obligated to be there. Oh, and by the way, I'm not changing the reservation. Yes,
Nice.
I kind of forgot about that. Thank you for not doing that.
Woohoo.
The comments from everyone really showed me that I wasn't being ridiculous, which is what I felt I was being, and that the worst she could do was just not come. I feel a lot better and lighter about this situation, so thank you so much to everyone for helping me see the light. And that is the end of that story. We've seen the
Wow.
light at the end of the tunnel.
How beautiful. How beautiful.
Mwah.
I refuse to attend the Christmas dinner because my father is bringing his new girlfriend.
Yeah, and I'm bringing Santa, and he's giving everyone coal.
Trigger warning. Emotional mistreatment. Hello. I'm female 21, and my dad left my mom 3 years ago. Whatever, people separate. I'm okay with it, especially since my dad wasn't being the best husband to my mom or father to his kids anymore. I'm the middle child between two boys. Once we were old enough to take care of ourselves, my dad checked out and started to focus on himself more, leaving my mom to do most of the parenting and emotional support. By the way, this comes from Large Drummer 958, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We'd only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. He wasn't the most present dad when I was younger, but he would be the one cooking us dinner and planning camping trips in the summer and buying us Christmas gifts. However, my mom really loved him and was really hurt when he left. He said he didn't love her anymore and wanted to be single. Except he got a girlfriend within a year of ending things. And the kicker? She was the woman my mom was worried about when they were together.
Oh no, okay, that's less normal. I don't like that at all. That's really bad.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Your dad's like, I want to be single for a little bit until I date this other lady that you are worried about.
I'll call her Rebecca. Originally, I believed my dad when he said he wanted to be single and how he fell out of love with my mom. But my mom received text from Rebecca's ex with screenshots of texts between my dad and Rebecca. I didn't see them, but my mom was confident my dad cheated on her after seeing those texts. So when she told me and my siblings, I believed her because there's no way she would tell us unless she was sure. She wouldn't want us to be hurt otherwise. So I confronted my dad in front of my older brother. My brothers don't know what to believe. They don't want to know details. I said it was a small town we lived in and word gets around and that I heard he cheated. He didn't deny it immediately, but said he couldn't control what I believed. I then told him screenshots of text were shared with me. Remember, I didn't see them. Between him and Rebecca when he was with my mom, sent from Rebecca's ex. My dad started bashing Rebecca's ex, saying he was crazy and trying to stir stuff up. I don't know about you, but that sounded sus. That conversation happened 2 years ago. It's been 3 years total since my parents separated. They still aren't legally divorced because some paperwork hasn't been done. My dad claims he hasn't been with another woman until he divorced my mom. But if we want to get to the nitty-gritty, he still isn't divorced. Anyway, me and my brothers aren't comfortable meeting this new woman yet. Yes, it's been 3 years, but at the same time, it's only been 3 years. It's still not clear whether or not he cheated still. My dad has been trying to bring Rebecca around to meet us, but I'm not comfortable yet. With Christmas time coming, he'd ask us to get comfortable with the idea of her being at the family Christmas dinner, where my extended family will be too. I told him that I'm glad he's happy with a new woman, but I want to keep Christmas just family, and Rebecca isn't family to me. I personally think this is a fair request since he lives with her and will have his own Christmas with her. His argument is that Rebecca is part of his life, and he wants her to be welcomed at family events. I told him, what about his kids? What if they didn't want her there? We get one Christmas a year where everyone is under the same roof. We don't want Rebecca there. Again, he said that if we loved him, he would expect us to accommodate his new love. He's asking for unconditional love. But as I get older, I don't think I can provide him with that anymore, especially when reflecting on my childhood.
You don't have to, it's like, that has nothing to do with unconditional love. You're just like, I'm never going to accept the woman you left our mother for, so don't bring her to Christmas.
Mind you, my mom doesn't come to these family events because it's all my dad's side of the family. My mom's is scattered and doesn't celebrate together, so she lost that big family dinner on Christmas when my dad left. To make it really clear to him, because if I give him an inch, he will go a mile. I told him if he's bringing Rebecca, then I won't go because I'm not ready to meet her yet. He said he wouldn't place that burden on me and find other arrangements. I remember that so clearly because I thought it was weird wording. Come today, he texted me that he's bringing Rebecca to dinner. In his text, he said, I'm trusting you can make your own decision about how you're going to react to this happening. So he knows I'm not happy with it. I pointed out, he said he wouldn't burden me with this, but he said he didn't remember saying that. He offered for us to meet Rebecca beforehand for lunch or something at their place, but the whole thing just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm very angry at him, especially when I said I won't be at Christmas dinner if she's there. It feels like he chose her over me. There's a lot of history here too. I feel like my dad doesn't respect me anyway, new girlfriend or not. Many times he's yelled at me as a kid. One time I threw an apple core out of the window into bushes on the side of the highway and he yelled at me for that, LOL. Little things like that would happen a lot. He also used to spank us as children, which my mom didn't like. He's a very angry man and can't handle his emotions. Many times I would help around the house and he would never say thanks, but when my brother picked up one sock, he would thank him. When I would explain to him how dismissive that felt or how I unacknowledged I felt, he would joke it off and not take me seriously. Many times I would tell him something and if my brothers would repeat it, he would recall them saying it, not me. I don't think he likes me. So him choosing to bring his girlfriend to dinner when he knew it made me and my brothers uncomfortable seems very disrespectful, but expected. I've talked with my aunt, who is hosting about it, and she's very understanding about my choice and disappointed in my dad for making his choice, despite his kids being uncomfortable. So am I the a-hole for sticking to my word and not going to dinner?
You told your dad what would happen, and he decided to be like, well, I'm going to test your resolve. And now you're like, hey, have fun. I hope you enjoy family dinner with your, whatever. Maybe she's a lovely lady. I don't want to disparage women. But I was going to call her a Victorian insult.
Thanks for everyone's responses. It's been an interesting week being home and being around my family. I'm much more angry and hurt about the situation compared to my brothers. Moving forward, I know we have different feelings about my dad and how we want to move forward with him. I'm more in the extreme end of things where I don't feel the need to be close with him while my brothers have an active relationship with him. I'm not bothered by this because my issues with my dad are very isolated from my brothers and shouldn't impact their decision to have a good relationship with him. I have certain standards I want a father to be, and he isn't meeting them, impacting my feelings about how I interact with him. For example, I had an in-person conversation with my dad on the 23rd about how I felt about him bringing Rebecca to Christmas dinner, influencing his kid's decision not to go. And we just went in circles. Ultimately, he understands I'm angry, frustrated, and hurt, but no apology came with that acknowledgement. Besides, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Which is not an apology.
Yeah.
It's just telling someone it's their fault for having feelings.
I explained how that statement doesn't come off as remorseful. He said he isn't sorry for bringing his girlfriend to dinner and that he'll miss his kid's presence. I retorted with, we could be there, but you chose to bring her when you knew your kids weren't comfortable. That was met with, that's how you view the situation. So like I said, lots of circles. But we'll put you in a circle of love and respect. And you can listen to full episodes just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime. I suppose both of us have the right to feel the way we do, but my feelings are just so hurt with him deciding to bring his girlfriend when his kids aren't comfortable.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Hold on, wait. Cassandra said that the ex-wife isn't invited. Oh, so this is so this is like his family's Christmas gathering on his side of the family?
Not the lock-in!
What the heck? Okay, well...
Whoa. Wait,
If your
I
mom's
understand.
if your mom's not involved, then maybe I don't know. That changes things. I don't know what I thought anymore, man. When did they say that? I remember hearing that
Yeah.
it was the slugs.
I will also blame those slugs.
I'm taking all those
No.
slugs from you.
No.
I hate my slug.
They're fine. They're right over here.
Yeah, look at them.
But
If
just-
Savannah pulls another one out, I'm taking.
There is another one over here, but
I know.
I will just look and not touch, which is so hard for me. I can't go to museums.
Okay, but now this all changes for me now because I thought that your mom was going to be there, and if she was there, then you wouldn't want to make things weird with his new wife, because then that's just going to be a more emotional strain on your mom. But if she's not already going to be there, then you missed a perfect opportunity to show up and make things weird. That would have been great.
But
you know?
now,
Not if it emotionally strained your mom, but if she's not there, it can't emotionally strain your mom. So it would have been great to show up and been like, yeah, so like, what's it like, cheating on your spouse?
so basically, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna go to Daddy's Christmas, but I'm not gonna go to Daddy's Christmas.
I thought
I had so much more in
you
my
should have
head.
gone to
What
you should have gone to Daddy Christmas, and you should have immediately been like, so crazy how you guys got together, right? So crazy how you guys got together while you were still married to other people. What does that feel like? Would have been a great opportunity.
I'm just going to get back to the story. I just don't feel acknowledged or like my dad put any effort into trying to understand my point of view besides knowing how I feel. As for Christmas, my brothers and I played games with my mom on the 24th, and we visited with some close family friends that have no relation to my dad. Christmas morning was spent at my mom's with a big breakfast and some until we paused so the kids could visit with my grandparents and my dad for an hour in town without Rebecca, and came back to the festivities at my mom's for the rest of the day. I mostly focused on my grandparents during our visit in town. The whole situation with my dad felt too fresh for me to interact with him properly. With the day filled with my brothers and my mom, I feel very happy with how things went. Oh, so they didn't go.
There you go.
Okay, so
There
they
you
just
go.
didn't go.
It worked out. It worked out.
You know what? It worked out.
My boyfriend refused to eat the foods my mother cooked because it's disgusting for him.
Nothing like mama's home-cooked plate of slop.
I come from a multinational family. My mother is a Volga Tatar, a national minority of Russia, and a Russian. My father, who passed away 2 years ago, is Ukrainian and Belarusian. My parents lived in both Russia and Ukraine, and in 2015, my whole family moved to my mom's relatives in Turkey. By the way, this comes from Throwaway or Ostrich, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie,
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, in my family, all national dishes were always cooked and served on the table. My boyfriend is American. A week ago, we flew with him to my mother in Turkey, and she made national dishes. There were dishes of Tatar, Russian, and Belarusian and Ukrainian cuisine, as well as several dishes of Turkish cuisine. During dinner, my boyfriend looked annoyed. He barely touched the dishes. My mom asked him if he liked the food. He replied rather irritably that he was not hungry. After dinner was over and we moved into my room, I asked what was wrong. My boyfriend rudely said that in the civilized world, eating horse meat is as wild as eating human flesh. Horse meat sausage is a national dish of the Tatars. He also said that okroshka, the dish that is traditionally eaten in Eastern Europe in the summer, but my mom cooked it now so my boyfriend could try it, looks and smells gross. He ridiculed all the other dishes, saying that they all either consist of potatoes with meat and dough alone, or are too Soviet and were invented in the USSR during a food shortage, so they are just incongruous dirt. All Turkish sweets were too sweet for him. I asked him why he was so mean, and he said that it would be decent if my mom cooked some of his usual American dishes, and that he was hungry because of me. Opie says, am I the a-hole? No. My mom just wanted him to get to know the culture of our family. There was nothing wrong with the dishes she cooked. If he didn't want to eat horse meat or kroshka, he could eat traditional Tatar triangular pies with potatoes and duck meat. There was also a whole dried goose on the table. It's very tasty. And sweets with honey. Should I really tell my mom to cook American dishes? And we do have some comments here. Jenny from The Block says, not the a-hole. Get this guy out of your house. He is rude, entitled, boorish, crass, and an embarrassment to the United States. He also does not care about you. If he did, he would gratefully try every dish and be excited to learn about your culture. He is also not very bright, as you can't even get the ingredients you need to make traditional American food in your location. Do not waste your life with this person. Edit, lots of people are asking what is traditional American food. I love the curiosity. Here are some things that I am talking about. The commenter made a whole list of American cuisine, too long to list, but it included hot dogs, hamburgers, barbecue, etc. Yep.
Yeah.
Also, jazz was invented in America. It was invented in New Orleans.
I didn't know that.
I mean, the concept of okay, never mind. I'm not going to defend jazz. We only have so few things that we are ours. Let us have that.
Well, if you look at the reality of like the world, the United States of America is a pretty new country
Yeah, well,
compared to a lot of
exactly.
historic ones.
Yeah,
And
so
look,
give us the few
People
things
were
we got.
playing improvised music for a long time, okay? But improvised music as a genre and an experience was invented in New Orleans, and that's jazz.
I'm gonna trust you on that. I'm not so
Okay.
sure, but I'm gonna trust you.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Simple Code 3229 says this guy joined your family dinner, proceeded to insult your mother by not touching what she cooked, then insulted your whole food and heritage to you, then suggested that American dishes should have been made, and then blamed you for his hunger. He doesn't seem to have much redeeming qualities, right, OP? I rarely tell someone to break up, but this guy just reeks with entitlement and racism. I believe you can find a better guy who would treat you and your family better than this one. Edit, forgot to vote, but not the a-hole. Just the Fancy says, yeah, this guy's rough. My in-laws are Ukrainian and Russian, and they make plenty of Eastern European dishes. I'm American, and do I love all of those dishes? No, but I try them. I am polite. And in trying some of them, I've found that I quite like some of them. Also, it's insanely unreasonable to fly to a faraway country to expect American food. This guy isn't mature enough to be dating, in my opinion, not the a-hole. Another commenter says, break up with him! My boyfriend, a very southern white man, eats all of the multinational foods my family cooks after being a military brat my whole life and loving the different cuisines I got to enjoy. My boyfriend tried hot pot for my birthday and said it wasn't his favorite, but still ate it. He enjoys the food, but hates working for his food. I'm Mexican from my dad's side, and I love making traditional Mexican food every now and then, and my boyfriend, along with his parents, love it, and always go back for seconds or thirds. OP, never settle for anyone who is so incredibly rude and disrespectful to your culture. And we do have an edit from OP, but yeah, I agree with all of those comments.
Yeah, I do too. The edit's on the same day. I wonder if this is
Yes, it is.
instantaneous breakup.
Ooh,
I mean, I can't imagine even needing to go to the internet to be like, but what do I do about this guy who insulted not only my entire family, but also just their whole culture?
yeah. How would you expect to continue that relationship?
Yeah,
You
I
just
don't.
can't.
I don't think there's any life left.
I don't think so.
Yeah, horse meat joke. Just imagine whatever it would be.
Insert here.
Boom.
So we have an update from the same day on the same post. Wow, I'm a little confused by how many comments there are. Unfortunately, I can't read them all. I thought about it and decided, and the commenters helped me in my decision, that I should dump him.
Yeah!
Oops.
Yeah!
Not because he didn't want to try the dishes that my mother had prepared. For those who asked, there were also neutral dishes at the dinner, like potatoes, chicken, traditional tatar, chicken soup, etc. There's so much amazing food at this dinner.
Yeah, they had pulled out all the stops.
Yeah. But because he was extremely rude to my mom and behaved rudely at dinner. And at dinner, you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime to be hearing all this hot goss while you're having your hot soup.
They just bring us right there to the table.
Yep. There is a little bit more to the story, but yes, I think that's a great idea, OP. Dump him for being rude to your family. Family's
Yeah,
important.
there's not really much of an option left after that.
Yeah,
you
it's like, I
know?
want American food. Well, only way you can do
Okay.
that is go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
Like,
like,
how are you expected to like eventually marry into this family when you like explicitly hate their culture? Apparently, like what?
Yeah, you're
What you
just
gonna
like, yeah, and we're never going back, and don't let them near me with their disgusting Soviet-era recipes.
it's very crazy. Yeah.
crazy. There is a little bit more to the story. My mom was upset with his behavior, although she didn't show it to him, but I know she was sad and offended.
Yeah, because you know what? Because she's got good manners.
Yeah. She
Better-
did all this work.
Better manners than he deserved.
Mm-hmm. He could be rude with me or other people in the same way before, but then he always apologized, and I wanted to believe that he really improved for the better. But now I think it didn't make sense. I wish I could respond to every commenter here. Thank you for your support. And there are some more comments. This was never about the food. The boyfriend is just an entitled a-hole. If someone hosts you in their own country, of course they're going to serve their local cuisine. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone with common sense. And if you don't like it, fine. But there's no excuse to be rude about it. Comment 2 says, I never understood why someone would date a person from another culture and don't take their time to understand their partner's culture or tradition. Do they have some sort of weird superiority complex? My culture food is normal, but not yours because it's not my culture. Do they never question this mindset? Comment 3 says, I'd do terrible things to try those dishes. Dude is a loser.
I just want one strip of dried goose, please.
Please.
Please give me a strip of dried goose for Christmas.
That's crazy.
Please.
My boss demanded I break my moral code for lunch and regretted it immediately.
The guiltiest lunch ever.
I currently work in an office of 14 people. Since I mainly work with clients in a different time zone, I come into the office a bit later than everyone else. Their office hours are 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I am 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Because of that, I started to pick up lunch for some of my coworkers on my way to work. What started off as a nice thing for 1 to 2 people turned into most of the office giving me their orders. By the way, this comes from lucky number 11. What? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I had 3 rules. 1. Only 1 restaurant a day. All orders had to come from that location. My second rule, I would not go to 2 specific restaurants out of moral principles. These are forbidden restaurants and no order to them will be accepted. 3, your order will be rounded up to the nearest dollar plus $1. If your order was $7.28, it will be $9 for me to pick it up. Still way cheaper than any other service out there. Cash on lunch, delivery, or prepaid for the week will be accepted. For the most part, I had no trouble with these rules, except for one coworker and the vice president. They both would want me to go to one of the restaurants that I would not go to. Every week, I would explain that I do not buy from that company. Every week, they would try to get me to go there. Now, this drama started on Friday. After I came in and gave everyone their orders, I was called into the office with vice president and told that I am bullying and excluding coworker from my little lunch club and must include him in it by going to the forbidden restaurant. I told them that I would solve the problem, but explained that Saturday's orders were already in and Monday is when the change would happen. Well, on Saturday, after I dropped off the orders, I canceled the lunch club in a company-wide email, stating the facts that I am being forced to add forbidden restaurant by vice president to my pickups, and I cannot, under my moral and religious fiber, I cannot support forbidden restaurant, so effective immediately, the lunch club is disbanded, and Monday, everyone is on their own with their lunch orders. I will refund any money that is left if the orders were prepaid, and to see me Monday to get your money. I do not pick up lunch on most Sundays. Well, half the office supported my decision, and the other half is pissed off at me for stopping the service. It was a huge time saver and pretty cheap since I picked up the orders on my way to work for them. I never really made a lot of money off of this, maybe enough to cover my daily lunch at best, maybe $15 to $16 a day on a really good day. Am I the a-hole here? And there is an edit, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
You were doing this isn't part of your job.
Totally.
You're doing this as a nice thing. I feel like also you were only making like maybe $16. So this is very much like an act of kindness from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see how some of the people who are benefiting might see like, okay, you're the a-hole
Sure.
for taking this thing that I used, but also I don't think so necessarily because like
Yeah.
it's your choice.
Yeah, I think maybe you didn't need to like call out your vice president and like explain all the reasonings.
I did think you went for the throat.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say that you're the a-hole for that, but I would be worried for your job anyway.
Yeah.
I'd be worried for that relationship that you have with your vice president.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it's the same kind of thing where it's like these people could be so grateful for you, but at the end of the day, like, or I'll go back. These people could be so grateful for you doing this, and you could have been doing it for so long to where they rely on it now. And that's kind of how they go about their routine is they don't have to worry about lunch because you got it. But at the end of the day, like even if they rely on it now, they still have to understand that it's a nice thing that you're doing. So they can't complain when it's gone. We do have an edit though. I think I may be the a-hole, mostly due to the sudden stop of the service, may leave some without a clear lunch plan. Some coworkers seem really ticked because of it and also want food from Forbidden Restaurant. Lime Reyes says, not the a-hole. I have a forbidden fast food restaurant that my friend jokingly calls fascist chicken. I never give them money either. I applaud you for standing by your ideals and refusing to be bullied. They didn't want to be excluded. Okay, now they're not. Everyone else isn't getting lunches either. If people are upset, tell them to complain to the ones responsible for your cancellation. Would you reinstate picking up lunches if they apologized and agreed to stop asking about the forbidden restaurants? Edits, I actually remembered a second fast food place I won't eat at. They left my county after minimum wage was raised, and I refuse to support a business that won't pay a decent minimum wage. OP responds to this commenter, probably not. A few others have pointed out some pretty bad liability that may come my way if I continue. Since I am transporting food, anything that happens to it, or if someone accidentally gets something that may trigger an allergy, the blame could be put on me. Or author Kimberly says, not the a-hole. Picking up their lunch isn't your job. You're doing it as a courtesy. They can use a delivery service since they can't respect your rules. Opie says, yes, starting Monday, they can order from whoever they want and pay for it. August Cortez says, my one question though, was it truly something they should have stepped into? From what I can tell, OP did this on their own time. Therefore, they could pick up food from wherever they please. All in all, definitely a power play, as someone stated. They had a good deal going until someone thought they had some authority here. Yeah, honestly. Everyone should be so mad at this vice president and this random coworker.
And I wonder if the vice president tried to like swing around his weight as vice president to be like, go get it, instead of just like being chill.
He totally did with this. Just that whole meeting of being like, well, now that this is a club, which I'm guessing is the first time it was called a club.
Yeah.
And now it was labeled as bullying and exclusion for excluding one coworker from the club, even though the vice president is also excluded by his definition. It's totally using his power.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's just him kind of being a little hurt.
Yeah.
That like, so you guys are having a club and I'm not invited?
Right. You guys are eating these foods, but you don't want to eat the foods that I want to eat, and you won't let me eat the foods that I want to eat.
Are you gonna finish those chicken nuggets?
They're not as good as the chicken nuggets that I want to be eating
that I
right now.
want
But whatever.
That fascist chicken.
Whatever. Another commenter says, nothing wrong with building a little camaraderie as long as OP was willing to do it. It sounds like this wasn't originally a work sanctioned thing, but just steadily grew. Everyone, almost, was fine with it until it became an issue. So I don't think OP felt like they were being exploited since they were getting some food for their efforts. The rules were reasonable, and I think OP was fine to blacklist any restaurant for any reason. Vice President decided to throw his weight around and unalived the goose that laid the golden eggs. If people wanted the blacklisted restaurant, they could have organized a separate run. OP says, this is pretty much spot on. I was getting lunch anyway. I would always do a quick calculation to see how much I would be earning and order something less than that, so I was getting my lunch paid for out of this deal. Both Vice President and this coworker would use me to pick up their lunches at times, and both would sometimes use a service to get food from the forbidden restaurant. My guess is that this is about saving money and a power play on me more than anything. We do have an update from a week later.
Ooh.
Oh man, what do we think is gonna happen?
I don't know. Are they gonna reinstate it?
I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if they might resolve things and then just be like, hey, we can get Fight Club again as long as you don't talk about it.
I think they're gonna get jackets.
Lunch Club jackets?
Lunch Club. They
Dude.
turn around and it's like It's like grease lightning. They got the
Oh, totally. Yeah. Oh, totally.
and it's like what food is on the back? Pad Thai, ramen.
yeah,
You know,
whatever their favorite is, except for the forbidden restaurants.
we know what it isn't.
Yeah.
Fried chicken.
Exactly. But we have an update. Let's see what happens. 1 week later. Some details first. I was hired mainly due that I am bilingual with the client's main language and I know the business. So to fire me, you would need 2 people to replace me. As many of you guessed, one of the forbidden restaurants is the Eat More Chicken place. As for the second one, it is partially due to me working there and having an issue with the franchise owner and not the whole franchise itself. I emailed and spoke with the owner of the company. I am basically in the clear. For those worried about any potential raise or promotions being stopped by the vice president, who really is just a glorified office manager who makes us call him vice president, I will not really be getting a promotion. There really isn't a promotion available currently, but I did get a raise out of this. Onward. Monday. I was called into a meeting with Vice President and myself only. He told me that this was not what he meant, and I need to sort something out by the end of the day, or there will be consequences. Consequences? I do not like that sentence.
Yeah.
Sort this out, or else there will be consequences.
Sort what out? Sorry.
Just the whole. This is with the vice president, so I think this is after Lunch Club got canceled, and Vice President is like, hey, there's a problem.
OP doesn't need to sort anything out.
No.
Justice.
Justice.
Injustice. I hate it.
I called and emailed the owner about this. Refunds were given out. At this point, I'm holding no one's money. My lunch was a famous fresh beef burger, which I ate at my desk. Tuesday, I had a meeting with Vice President and owner. Owner made it very clear to VP that I am to be left alone and I am allowed to continue my lunch club as I want if I want to. I made it clear that I will no longer be willing to do so. I had a taco place. Not my best choice. All right, Wednesday, business as normal. I ate a fresh grilled chicken sandwich and fries from one restaurant. Thursday, most of my coworkers that were originally pissed off at me for stopping the service asked me if I could start it up again. I said no, too much of a risk with Vice President and coworker. I brought in a bacon cheeseburger and nuggets and fries, $5 special, and a small Frosty from another store.
You know, I hope the VP just has a direct line of sight to her desk, and every time she sits down, she just sits eye contact.
She has like a little fan to blow the smell over.
It's so good, Mr. Vice President.
It's so fresh and so warm.
I really wish if someone didn't.
Yeah, right. It would be so nice if I could just be so generous again, but that clearly doesn't work out.
It'd be so great. This would be so great for everyone if someone didn't ruin it.
Yeah.
And like they're just kicking their little.
Yeah. And you could be kicking your feet listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime. There is more to the story. Do we want to hear Friday? What Friday?
I do. I'm so locked into what Friday's lunch is.
Friday, get ready with me. Coworker greeted me at the entrance, called me several very insulting names, and knocked my "we have the meats" out of my hand, booted it, and left the building. He was met with the police and the owner and terminated when he came back from lunch. I'm now allowed to work from home again with bi-weekly office meetings. Saturday. I spent most of the day getting my home office set up again. I had a can of instant potato cheddar and bacon soup for lunch. So now Sunday, my day off. Here, giving an update. And we do have some final comments here. 200 tabs says, wow, that was a ride. I loved the fact that you included your daily lunches in your update. The coworker seems like he had a problem with you outside of the lunch club and that he was using the lunch club as a way to control you. I'm glad that he was terminated and also faces criminal charges. I'm sad that you lost your we have the meats lunch that day, but it did also create a basis for you to work from home, so I want to focus on that. And I'm sure that the vice president got a dressing down for his role in letting the coworker feel that he could control you. I hope that he gets terminated too, as the owner probably is worried that he'd be the source of the next incident. OP says, working from home is the biggest plus here, since vice president was the one who forced us to come back to the office. I also hope he gets terminated, but unless he does something major that costs the owner some money, It's not likely since he is related to owner by marriage. Sounds great, OP. That was a great story.
You don't have to go to work. You
Yep.
get an extra $250
Yep.
a month.
A month.
I think this rocks.
My mother said her heirloom plates weren't for everyday use, but I still used them.
Well played, OP.
Mm?
Well played indeed.
I was the last kid to leave home. I was an oops kid, and my older brother and sister were in high school when I was born. After I finished university, I asked my parents if I could stay at home to save up. They agreed so long as I paid for my own expenses and contributed $300 a month for food and utilities. Good deal by me. By the way, this comes from Salt Reply 735, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
And we are here to give some good advice. Goofy? Well, we don't have all the answers. We'd only tell you what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do down in those comments. As OP says, I then fell in love with a friend's neighborhood of little houses.
You
That's
fell
just
in
not
love.
where I thought that sentence was going to go.
I then fell in love with a house, a group of houses.
I thought it was going to be like a friend's neighbor, and nope,
Hey.
it just the words kept coming.
You know what they call a group of houses?
Houses?
A neighborhood.
Wow. I found one for sale and grabbed it. My
Oh.
parents downsized immediately to make sure none of us could ever move back.
Oh.
They are retired and were tired of Midwest winters. Agreed. My brother and sister are both married with children. My folks supported me and helped me get established in my career. I love them and am super thankful for everything they did for myself and my siblings. I asked them if they could please put my china cabinet, china and cutlery into storage with their stuff. They said they weren't going to get storage and were getting rid of everything they weren't going to use or store in their new place in Arizona.
Ugh.
What?
Moving to Arizona?
Yeah, it's like very hot there.
Yeah, oh god, we got tired of these Midwest winters, so we're gonna move to a place where it's 120 degrees every day.
I would.
That's so dumb
I like
to
it.
me. Shout out to everyone who lives in Arizona or moved there on purpose. I don't know what's going on up there.
I don't know what's happening. I asked if they could store the stuff for me, and they said no. I got a couple of friends, and we moved it into my new house. My house was built when the railroad was a big deal. They built entire neighborhoods for their workers. Tiny little houses with decent-sized yards for gardens or kids.
If you want to grow a garden or if you want to grow children.
This is the place for
Both
you.
are options in your railroad backyard.
So think 600 square feet. No basement. It still has a clothesline.
That is a tiny little house.
Yeah.
It's like a shed.
That's a room. A couple of months after I moved in, I had a housewarming party. I had exactly 4 of everything from IKEA.
No more and no less.
Plus 1 pot, 1 pan, and an air fryer.
Well, except for those things, only those more, and then no more than that.
So I used my fancy plates. It's a dinner party.
If there was ever a time to bust out the nice china, it's at the dinner party.
It's at the housewarming party. Why wouldn't you? My friends aren't children, so none got damaged. Afterwards, I realized that I had stuff like serving trays and gravy boats. Everything an adult needs to adult.
All aboard the gravy boat, please. I'ma be on that gravy boat any day now. Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding food service, anyways. So I just use them all the time. Mostly when I have people over, but also when I have not done dishes and I want to not eat out of takeout containers over the sink.
So,
What?
I will say, I feel like this story's definitely going to a place where they're going to be like, you're using the fine china. That should be kept in storage. But it's like, why do you even have it? Sell it.
That's
Sell it
true.
for whatever it's worth, because if these are worth like thousands of dollars, freaking sell them to whoever wants that stuff, and then go buy actual dishware and pocket the rest of the money.
And then they'll put it in their storage to not use for years and years.
Fine china is stupid to me.
Yeah. Kind of like you get it just as like a decoration and like
It's-
can't
yeah.
actually use it.
It's a relic of the old world. Like nobody needs that anymore.
I don't want China in my household. I was FaceTiming with my folks and eating, and they noticed that I was eating off a Royal Wedgwood Precious Moments plate using Ming Dynasty Imperial silverware.
Okay, now I don't know what Ming Dynasty Imperial silverware goes for, but I'm keeping that
Yeah,
because that sounds awesome.
I may have some terms wrong here, but you get the point. Mom asked me why I was using that plate and fork to eat. She said it was only for special occasions, that it was an heirloom meant to be cherished and protected for generations. Not exaggerating here. That's what she said. By the way, I'm going to say that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search up OK Storytime.
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit left. I
I
don't think it really I mean, I guess like it's a generational thing. You want it to be nice, but like, how many times do you like? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's-
say it. I'm gonna say it, dog. Plates are not heirlooms. They're plates. They're plates. They're just
Yeah.
plates. You know, if you're gonna have an heirloom, make it a piece of jewelry. Make it a crown of some kind.
Make it a candle holder.
Make it like a suit, or like
a suit.
you know, or like
Suited
a
heirloom.
chandelier or something. Something that's not just plates. Ming Dynasty silverware.
Gimme.
Keep that around for a while. Let's give it's all the way from the Ming Dynasty. Let's keep that train a rolling, right? Let's make the silverware handed down, okay? But get rid of the plates. Sell it to whoever wants the plates, right?
Right. I told them that they were my plates and I would use them however I wanted. They got very upset and hung up. Then I got calls from my brother and sister. They both admitted they only called because Mom told them to. They said to do whatever I wanted. They said that they weren't huge fans of fancy china, but that Mom had insisted it go on their registries. So these were a gift from like their wedding, I'm guessing.
I would sell everything that isn't that cool silverware. Again, just get rid of it. Why do we have it?
That's true. If you can't use it, it's just like hanging out,
It's
like
true,
taking
like,
up space.
Yeah. Turn it into money.
That's true. We had a big laugh, and I promised to tell Mom. They told me to save my nice stuff for a royal visit. My mom actually ordered me an 8-person set of cheap china to use every day. I thanked her, and I am using that instead. Unless I want to feel fancy. Don't tell my mom.
We're telling we actually maybe just told everybody. We've told everyone.
I'm telling her, Mama, I'm using Ming Dynasty.
I'm using the Ming Dynasties today.
Uh-oh, you see the spoon? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got myself a burrito bowl, and I want to feel like a Ming Dynasty nobleman.
Ooh, here comes the fine china right into my trap.
Yeah. Honey, we're having company. Why don't you bust out the Mings?
Bust out that dynasty you
Yeah,
got.
but why don't you bust out the dynastics?
Dynastics.
Bust out the dynastics for him, babe.
My mother-in-law insulted my cooking after I made it specifically for her.
Ooh, no more cooking for her.
My mother-in-law moved in with us 3 months ago. Temporary but long-term situation. I've been struggling to adjust to her intrusive and at times overbearing presence, but overall she does love me and has good intentions. She does her best to be kind, I think. I believe the intrusive behaviors come from cultural differences, but it can be very suffocating and offensive sometimes. By the way, this comes from Banana Bread 5241. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon, and we both have allergies.
And we both have allergies. But we're here to give good advice goofily anyway. But we don't have all the answers. We only have allergies. So let us know what you would do in the comments. She's decided to go vegan for Lent. I wanted to do something nice for her, so I decided to go the Impossible brand vegan ground beef and make a dish out of it. It took me almost 2 hours in the morning to prep, and then another 3 in the evening to actually cook. Food finally is ready to eat, and she's being very nice at first. I say to my husband and her how crazy it is that Impossible brand tastes so much like real meat. And we're talking about how they do it and how impressed I am by how it can taste and have the texture exactly like real ground beef. She was really excited that this is even an option during her vegan period. Fast forward, as I'm putting the leftovers away, she comes up to me and starts critiquing the food. It's good, but I think you need to add these spices to make it taste more like meat, and then it would be better. It doesn't taste like meat. She proceeds to repeat her critiques a couple of times over the course of the evening, always in a moment where my husband is just out of earshot so he can't hear her. Not sure if that's on purpose or not, but yeah, I know it seems small, and overall she was grateful for the meal, but for me this was just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's always little comments like this throughout the day, always her trying to teach me how to do everything, as if I'm not a fully grown woman, and she simply knows all. Which is ironic because most days she's always doing at least one thing that makes me wonder if she's a little slow. Always breaking things, never listens to house rules, etc. I didn't even have to cook for her, I did so out of kindness. And then after hours of effort, she decides she'd like to teach me how to cook. Cooking is my happy place and my hobby. Perhaps I'm being too sensitive here, but it's the one thing I know I'm an expert at. I've been told as much, and I find it ridiculously insulting. I'd never want someone to lie if they don't like my food, but if you don't like it, just don't eat it and move on. It's rude to offer opinions on advice unsolicited, especially when literally one day ago she didn't even know vegan meat existed. Like at all. She immigrated here recently from a country that doesn't have that sort of thing apparently. And suddenly she's an expert on how to use it in cooking? Am I overreacting or reading too deep into it?
I don't know. I just love it how she's like, this meat could taste like meat if
Could
you made
taste
it.
meatier.
You know what it needs? Meat.
I think it just needs meat, girl. Sorry guys, been bottling up my frustrations and just needed to vent. I know it's a minor thing. This morning she brought out her little cookbook to make a cake and said, I really wish this book was in English because that would be helpful for you. Somebody please take me off a ledge. I ignored her comment entirely, but I'm really close to being a witch at this point. My husband is gone at work right now. Go figure. I will say that one, I feel like it depends on how she said it.
I feel like
because that could just be like, hey, like I want
a cake. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish that because I want to make this cake, but it's not in English. So if you ever wanted to make a cake from this cookbook, you couldn't. I feel like that.
If someone's
may be what
sharing
she was-
recipes, I get that's how she delivered it.
Yes.
But if someone's sharing recipes, I think especially for like people who love to cook,
Yeah.
I feel like that's like one of the most like
I love sharing recipes with people.
it's like one of the most grateful things you can do for among people.
But there is an update. Well, you were all right. She's not well-intentioned and innocent after all. Her and her two daughters are both toxic as heck, and her true colors finally showed. He comes from a Middle Eastern household and they're Christian. She tried to cite the 10 Commandments as her reasoning. I went to Catholic school for 18 years growing up, and I'm very aware of the fact that the Bible states that nobody except God himself comes before your wife, but I digress. Oh, she also stated that she's not living with us. Then my husband will be paying for her to have a place to stay and have his own bank account just for her expenses, and that this was also end of story. Mother-in-law and sister-in-law's justification for this is because she paid for his medical school, and you guys wouldn't be here without mother-in-law's financial support.
Oh my, I love you wouldn't be here if I didn't, have
Yeah.
you kind of thing. You're like,
okay,
huh?
Thanks. This is simply untrue for two reasons. I have never, ever accepted any sort of financial assistance from her myself, and my husband never asked her for help. She gave it to him willingly because that's what parents do. It wasn't money she earned, it was money father-in-law had set aside for him many years ago for his education. And if they hadn't done that, my husband was fully prepared to pull out student loans. Me and my side of the family have collectively paid more than half of our rent and bills for the past 5 years. I honestly am too tired to explain how we got here in this big argument. Maybe I'll make another post later. I'll probably post later today about how absolutely insane his family has been towards me and us for the past 2 days. For the record, my husband does not agree that mother comes before wife. He does believe it is his duty to take care of her if she cannot care for herself, which I've never been against because we both love her, and I want the same for my mom too, as long as it isn't impacting our finances or marriage. Currently, mother-in-law is impacting both. Anyways, my husband is finally aware of how she treats me because I recorded the conversation. Thanks for the advice, Reddit. He's working 100-hour weeks right now with 0 days off for the next few weeks, so he hasn't had time or energy to address it, but he has assured me that he is going to once he can. That might be a while, it would seem. Until then, all I have is the ability to vent about it on Reddit. Love that for me. Am I the a-hole for not thinking that the cultural standards he was raised in applied to us and our marriage? Because I am 50% of this household, in my eyes, when we got married. We left our old lives behind and started a new family with our own family culture that can be whatever we want it to be. And there is a third update. It was a group call between me, husband, mother-in-law, and the two sister-in-laws. A lot happened, but at one point they were all ganging up on dear husband.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, they're probably bullying him to do this.
It's gonna be the thing of like everyone's like, this is someone disagrees, and like it starts getting to like a huge ruckus, and they're diverting the anger to somebody in the group. I was gonna say either husband or OP.
Yeah. About how he never emotionally validates them when they're upset. Sister-in-law made a comment saying, when we visited for Christmas, I saw you comforting and validating OP, and it made me jealous. She continued on about how he hasn't been a good brother or good son lately. Nobody else seemed to clock that comment, but I did. She said this to illustrate how she wishes he would comfort and validate her when she's upset the way he does me. But let's be for real. The real message behind all of this was really, we're jealous of your wife. The truth finally slipped up. I just looked at my husband and quietly said, and there it is. For context, my mother-in-law lives with us and his whole rest of his family, both sister-in-laws plus older sister-in-law's husband, stayed with us for almost 2 weeks during Christmas. He was comforting me a bunch because of the amount of stress we were both under, having to host them for Christmas at our house, because they were being difficult guests. Despite my knowing this would be a hard time for me, I welcomed them with open arms and was bending over backwards to accommodate them. So yeah, he was comforting me and validating me when I wanted hugs and kisses. I'm sorry your brother wasn't hugging you enough. What do you mean you're jealous? I honestly cannot with these guys. Anyway, how's your week going? Edit. To clarify, the sister-in-law who is married isn't the one that made this comment. It was the younger sister-in-law that said it. They are all fully grown adults, by the way. Younger sister-in-law does have a boyfriend that wasn't present over the holiday. And there is a fourth update. Never mind the fact that my own husband has directly told her that he believes God has acknowledged me as his wife and that she was out of line for even saying that at all. Never mind the fact that neither of us is nearly as religious as she is to begin with. Also, that if we had kids in her country, they'd be considered illegitimate children and would not get any inheritance if my husband passed away. My response? Well, I guess it's a good thing we don't live in that country and that husband doesn't have any assets there to inherit to begin with. Finally got her paperwork in order, and my husband has finally seen her for who she is. A disrespectful, entitled mother-in-law from heck. He's agreed that once she leaves this time, we will be informing her that she's no longer allowed to live with us any further. She will likely insist that he pays for her to live elsewhere, even though we can't afford it, and also want to save up so we can actually live our own lives. But at this point, I'd rather lose money just to get her out of my hair than have to suffer another moment longer with her in my house. My peace comes at a financial price, it seems, and frankly, I'm willing to pay it. During the fight, my mother-in-law said a few other lovely nuggets. She told my husband that he only has one mother, but he could have many different women if he wanted. She insisted that she wasn't mean, but that she could be mean if she wanted to. She even added that she could say things like, my sister-in-law is better than me, but she chooses not to. I'm sorry. She says to you, I could say that your sister-in-law is better than you.
I could say it.
I could say it,
but I'm not going
to.
to.
Won't. That's you saying it, girl. You just said it. By the way, you can say that you'll listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search Poke Storytime. She accused us of installing security cameras just to spy on her all day, even though we've had them for 5 years because of our dog and she's only been living with us for 6 months. Finally, she claimed that my father-in-law's biggest regret was letting my husband come to this country, saying that I was taking him away from his family. Anyways, I'm at my wit's end. I told husband that I'm giving him until July. If I don't see a purchased plane ticket by then with a specific date in hand that says exactly when she's leaving, and if said flight is not sometime before the end of this year, then I will be moving out by the end of July. I won't divorce him, but I won't be living like this anymore, and I sure as heck won't be paying rent or utilities here if I move out. And that is the end of that story.
I don't like ultimatums. My boss had a meltdown because I picked a restaurant that wouldn't endanger me.
Are you like super allergic to something?
Well, we're gonna find out. A while ago, I was awarded for my work. It's not valuable, just a framed certificate, but it was voted on by my peers, and I'm a bit chuffed. That weekend, I turned 40. By the way, this comes from user TAO Award Night, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so please let us know what you do in the comments. As OP says, on the Monday, my manager, Janine, and her boss, Kara, said they wanted us to celebrate these events as a team and asked where I would like to go for lunch. I was conflicted because there's been a history of disputes around my food allergy. In short, they always go to a nearby Chinese restaurant, but I'm allergic to soy, which features in a lot of Chinese food. Kara has involved HR to find a solution, but so far they've been useful as a chocolate teapot. In meetings, though, they have insisted they want to include me, and this was the first time they'd asked for my suggestions. So, in the end, I suggested a new Indian restaurant my partner and I had been to. I told Janine I knew Indian wasn't for everyone, so if there were any problems, I'd suggest something else. Janine said, "There's nothing wrong with Indian. Ooh, yum, 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 yum." 2 days later, Kara emailed me that we were having lunch to celebrate my award and my big 40 at the Indian restaurant. Sweet. Unfortunately, I was talking to Janine at the time Kara's email arrived. Janine did have some issues with Indian food. Then why did she say Indian? Yum, 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 yum.
What the heck?
Janine did have some issues with Indian food, which again, why did she say yum, yum, yum so many times?
I feel like one of those was a mistake flip up.
I don't know.
I think that was the wrong name said somewhere.
Maybe, which she alerted me to by screaming them in my face and having a meltdown. After being yelled at by Janine, I calmed her down, then went back to my desk and broke down myself. Carolyn, manager of the next team, came over and consoled me. I was shaking so badly. Carolyn filled in the incident report for me, then emailed Janine and Kara to say I was leaving work, and drove me to my GP. GP gave me a week off of work. Now I am back to work, and it's bad. Kara postponed lunch until I was better and expected it to go ahead as planned. Janine wants it moved to the Chinese restaurant they always go to, and HR is backing Janine because she is not coping with change, and I should accommodate her. Timeout. Isn't this dinner for you and, I don't know, for one, your accomplishments and you turning 40?
Right. I could totally understand if they had initially come back and said, hey, actually, like, most of the office hates Indian food. Do you have any second choice kind of thing? I could understand that maybe if it was, like, so known that that was, like, a disliked place. Then I'm sure there's other restaurants, but to be like, no, and we're going to the one that you actually can't eat.
Yeah, very weird. The fact that there's no plan B.
Right. Why isn't plan B, like, I don't know,
Any
American
other restaurant.
food or
Literally any other
That
restaurant.
wouldn't work. Yeah.
That I know
Sandwiches.
soy. Yeah, anything. I shot back with accommodating Janine could unalive me in the process. I just want the whole thing to drop because I'm fed up. Haha. Kara wants to be the peacemaker and has suggested I meet them halfway. What are you, the black-eyed
What
peas?
is halfway?
What-
What is halfway between Indian food and unaliving?
Balinese food or Indonesian
food.
food. I don't know where halfway is, and I can't be bothered finding it. Kara, Janine, and HR all say I'm the a-hole for not being prepared to compromise on where we go out for lunch. I need fresh perspectives on this. Am I the a-hole? And OP adds, by the way, the two restaurants are literally across the road from each other. Quick update. Wow, I woke up to about 600 new comments. I'll try to get to as many comments as I can. But a note for all the people calling me a snowflake, or similar, because I took a week off of work. I had PTSD from a traffic accident and a road rage incident. Oh boy, I was the passenger and was still trapped in the car when the other driver attacked my side and screamed at me. OP, where do you live? I feel like you're in like
Florida.
the craziest place.
Florida.
Florida. Having Janine scream in my face brought back some of those intrusive memories of the accident. It is not weak or being a snowflake to have a psychological injury. It is not weak to get qualified help when you need it. We have an update. Let's go straight into it.
Do it.
Meeting Friday morning with myself, Kara, HR, and the union dialing in. Senior HR person also dialing in to observe.
Good.
Okay, update 2. That was just
Hear it.
that was a tiny
Let's
update.
get the actual update.
Let's see what they said. Update 2. I was offered a transfer this afternoon, and I accepted it.
Woo!
New boss wants me to start on Monday, but he has to negotiate that with Janine. Friday's meeting is canceled, but the senior HR person would like an hour of my time on Monday to discuss any feedback I have about my recent experience of HR. Update 3, which is 6 days later, I guess is when you start your new job or starting with the new team or your transfer. Dang, this all started because you
I
just
mean,
couldn't
at that
eat Chinese
point, though,
food.
this is the right thing to do.
Oh, 100%, especially when someone yelled in your face and gave you PTSD and nobody, especially HR, is like backing you up and they're like, we need to accommodate the person that we're not celebrating.
Crazy behavior.
Yeah, let's do that. I started in my new job today, but the rest of the team are in another building, and I probably won't physically join them until the next week. I didn't want to post a proper update before now, in case there were last-minute hiccups. My new boss had to negotiate my start with Janine. Thursday afternoon, I was offered a transfer, and I accepted. This is part of the expected changes I mentioned. I knew there was a review underway, and there might be some opportunities for me. I just wasn't expecting anything so soon. My new team are mostly the people I worked with on my award winner. Nice. Janine on Thursday. I don't want you to go. Janine on Friday. When are you moving? I have 2 new people starting Monday, and I need your desk. My new word to describe Janine? Mercurial. I think it's a good one. Kara seemed genuinely sad I'm leaving, wished me all the best, and offered her help to make the move go smoothly.
Mercurial, of a person subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind.
Oh, it sounds like just being bipolar or something like that.
Yeah.
Huh, good word. You learn something new every day. Probably butchered the word too. Back to the story. Kara seemed genuinely sad I'm leaving, wished me all the best, and offered her help to make the new move go smoothly. Everyone else in the team seems to be pretending the whole thing never happened. Not one word has been said about the lunch, my leave, the transfer. Nothing. Friday morning's meeting was canceled, but the senior HR guy asked for an hour of my time this morning to give feedback about my recent experiences with HR. I shared my concerns about some of the advice HR was giving. Part of our conversation involved a lot of read between the lines, but I am fairly sure Janine's been spoken to. And this is how it ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper. Oh. A few people have asked, nicely and not so nicely, how I could possibly feel I was at fault here. I thought I might have been the a-hole because I was out of step with how things were done in the team. I thought I might have been the a-hole because I was out of step with how things were done in that team. But a lot of very kind people took time out of their day to share their professional knowledge and explain to me, in so many ways, how badly the team culture was out of step with normal. Compared to a few days ago, I feel like I understand so much more. Like, this wasn't really about a restaurant, it was really about wanting a fair division of the emotional labor in the team. Thank you all for helping me see the bigger picture. And by the way, I want to help you by listening to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. That could be Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and just search us up. We'll be there, and we'll help you out if you want it.
Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum. There's a little bit left. How do we feel?
I think it was a good thing to get transferred, and we don't really need to pay attention to Janine anymore. Just your last, 2 days there.
I would also bring up to, I don't know, somebody might, am I not getting my dinner or my lunch? Am I not getting my celebratory dinner? Because that's all it stemmed from. I was like, can I still get that, by the way? Or can I just get a gift card and just
Maybe they
take
can
myself
just do
out
that with the actual award-winning team, but also I feel like at that point I'd be like, it's
a
over
lost
it.
cause, yeah.
If they bring it up, be like, yeah, 100% I want that. But
Yeah, that's insane that you literally I can't go to this restaurant because I am flea allergic to it. So there's that. But let's go ahead and finish up this story. I can see I'd become the soother of frazzled nerves, solver of problems, and finder of solutions. Janine once said she liked me because I made bad things go away. At the time, I thought she just meant work, but now I wonder if she depended on me for more than I knew. Looking forward, my partner and I have decided a nice Indian meal is in our near future. But we're being even more audacious and planning to take some leave later in the year and have an actual holiday together, travel restrictions willing. And finally, thank you to all the Redditors who shared their own knowledge and experiences of trauma and bad workplaces. It's an awful club to belong to, but we have the best members. And that is the end of that story. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. I hope you guys can go on holiday.
You know what? Good that you transferred. You don't have to deal with Janine anymore, and it seems like you're working with people that you actually want to work with, where it's less stressful. So take that as you will, and go take yourself on a little trip. Go with your partner. Go have fun. You deserve that from all the stress you were having throughout this huge implosion. But that is the end of that story.
I refused to eat my girlfriend's cold salad, and it made her mad.
I'm a hot salad guy only. I need my salad boiling hot.
Yesterday, I went ice skating with my girlfriend. Tuesday's one of her days for dinner, so she made chicken salad. When I saw the chicken salad, I admit I made a face. She was like, what? What's the problem? By the way, this comes from, it's too cold for that. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments.
And chicken salad's not salad. It's chicken salad. It's different.
And also usually served cold.
Yeah, and like it's a
Right.
big pile of goop, not a salad.
But OP says, I said that we were outside in the cold all afternoon, and I wasn't really in the mood for cold food. She said, we're inside. The heat is set to 74, and we're both wearing warm, dry clothes, so it was plenty warm enough to eat the salad. I said, sure, but I just wanted something warm to heat me up on the inside. You're complaining about the meal your girlfriend made you?
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but the way you broached this, not a great tactic.
Not a great broach. She said that was ridiculous because my internal temperature is in the 90s and my insides are plenty hot.
Okay,
There's
and
no
now
way
she's-
we're having an argument about.
She's also being a little bit
Well, he's coming
ridiculous.
at her for
No, this is-
the meal she made.
But to be like, I want to warm up on the inside and then be like, well, your internal body temperature is already warm. It's like, okay.
I feel like it's more like if you really want to warm up, get up and make yourself something warm.
Yeah.
I've made you this chicken salad. Eat your dang chicken salad or
Yeah.
go make yourself some soup.
You could have just made a cup of tea or something,
Something.
you know?
We didn't need to be
Could just
crapping on her salad.
Could have just drank some warm water.
Yeah, it's that easy. At this point, we were going in circles. You really had to go back and forth on that more? So I just said I was going to heat up some soup and told her to go ahead and start eating, and I'd be back in a few minutes.
Why don't you just eat both of these things?
You messed up, dude.
Yeah, it's rude to reject a meal someone makes for you.
When I came out of the kitchen with my soup, she was clearly upset, and she asked how I would feel if she refused to eat what I made tomorrow, which is today. I said I won't care, and she said that was BS, because it's rude to turn your nose up at something someone made for you. Was I the a-hole for not wanting cold salad after being cold all day? Yes.
The way you went about it, probably.
Because it's the question is not, are you the a-hole for not wanting cold salad after being cold all day? The question is, am I the a-hole for being really rude to my girlfriend who made me dinner after a long day outside together?
You literally could have been like, you made that for me, thank you. I'm going to also go warm up soup, or I'm going to put on some
Warm
tea.
up your chicken salad. Who cares? Put it in the microwave. But, like, you take care of that yourself. Don't come at her meal.
I do think it's fair that, yeah, what Shawnee OP says, OP and his girlfriend are both so annoying.
Yes.
I agree with that. They're both annoying.
She said, you have the internal temperature of 90 something.
I think she was just coming back at him with the sass she was receiving.
no,
and
100%.
I'm here that he deserves it then.
It's just
easiest
We
thing.
didn't hear the tone that he said it in. I bet it was annoying.
I bet it was very annoying. He's like, I don't want that. That looks
I'd be like,
cold.
make yourself some tea then.
Yeah.
Your body's warm.
But also, it's so how is this like the first time you guys like clash heads about food? Like I always
It's
ask
probably
Carly.
not.
I always ask Carly, hey, what do you want to eat? Or like, what do you want? And it's like fairly
If I
simple.
just made you something though, you'd never be like, I really didn't want.
No, but the thing is, you would
I'm
also you would also tell me,
cold.
hey, I'm gonna make chicken salad. I'm like, that's amazing.
Maybe she did.
She probably did. It's very
Someone
weird.
said OP is ungrateful, and I do.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the whole vibe.
It's okay. You want to be entitled to food?
I do.
Showbell says you're the a-hole for how he broached the topic with.
Yeah, exactly. You broached that very poorly. That was a
Bad-
beginner's broach.
It's a bad broach.
I will say though, I don't think OP would care if his girlfriend didn't want to eat the meal he cooked because it doesn't
Well-
sound like he's aware of that being a thing.
Well, we're gonna find out.
I made
we have
this
an
for
update.
you.
From the next day. Wednesday, after I served the plates, my girlfriend said she didn't want pasta and was going to make a salad. I was pretty sure she was going to do this, and it didn't bother me. I waited for her to come back to start eating, and when she sat down, I tried to talk to her about her day. She asked if I was trying to make a point, and I asked what she meant.
This is so.
Yeah, she did the thing. She's been waiting for this all
She
day.
This is so
Also-
And
unbearable.
like I said, OP is just like, I just don't, I don't.
The thing
care.
is, though, OP was warned, and I feel like it is still bothering OP, and he's just like, it's not bothering me. But you wrote a whole update about it. It sounds like it's bothering
Well,
you.
now at this point, it's her wanting you to be bothered is what would bother me.
She asked if I cared that she wasn't going to eat what I made. I said that I didn't and would have it for lunch. She got frustrated, focused on her salad, and wouldn't engage with me. After dinner, I said we shouldn't make dinner for each other anymore. She asked why I thought that, and I said it's clear that she gets upset when she makes food for someone and they don't eat it. It would be better for us just to make separate meals so we each know we will get what we want and no one's feelings would be hurt. Oh my god, guys, just talk about what you're gonna make. Dakota, Carly, and Keon discuss the challenges of income disparity and moving in together, debating how to broach the topic diplomatically. Is this still from the last story?
Yeah, it's
Some
updated.
diplomatic broaching.
Diplomatic broaching.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
broach, bad broach, says the blind man.
Yes, we're really creating a brood of brooches.
Yes, this sounds like we are just spiraling now.
But like,
and,
I agree with that. And it's like, she wants to make this fight last a whole other day. It's like, I truly just didn't care. I just don't care.
I feel like something's been brewing with y'all for a while because this is about to spiral even more.
It's got to be the way that you reacted to the chicken salad had to be like so like.
Yeah, how
like,
badly
geez.
did you react about this
Yeah,
chicken?
I don't like. I guarantee you didn't say thank you for making this. It's like, oh, I'll have that later. It was just like, I don't want that.
He also made a comment. This one got me. I said it's clear that she gets upset when she makes food for someone and they don't eat it. Makes it feel to me like he's declined food before.
Or somebody else.
Or somebody else
Yeah.
has.
I mean,
Which, I mean, I'm not saying that it's wrong to decline it, but I'm back on, like, Keon's thing now of, like, why aren't we just, like, pre-planning what we're gonna be making? Like, why isn't it, like, would you like this or this for this week kind of thing?
I mean,
Which would be a pretty easy...
I think he just broached it by being like, ugh, you made cold slop for dinner, but
That's what it
but
sounded like!
It's cold outside. Why would you make me cold slop? I don't want any cold slop.
I'm guessing that's Shawnee OP that made his name Papa Broach.
Hell yeah.
She said it wasn't okay for me to make a unilateral decision about our relationship. I said that I wasn't, but I didn't want to cook for her anymore or have her cook for me if it was going to make her upset. We kind of went round and round on it until the conversation petered out.
To be honest, the just concept of making a meal
Just say,
isn't necessarily
so-
about your relationship.
I'm
Right.
so upset.
Could we
at
not
this.
just have been like, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I know I didn't appreciate the chicken salad. I was grumpy. I was in the cold all day. I really appreciate when you cook me food, and I'm sorry. I hope this pasta is good.
If the context was like, you guys are out in like the cold all day, and you're like, you know what I'm really craving right now is like a warm soup, and she made you the chicken salad.
Or tea, like Dakota said.
Something.
Like you could have done something easy.
If you gave her like signs or like communicated before she made you food, she said, "Oh, I'm gonna make food," and you're like, "I can't wait to whatever you're making, I'll eat it." And then she made you chicken salad, and you get upset. This makes sense.
Or like Kim Roberts say, maybe, do you mind if I save this chicken salad for
Right.
tomorrow?
It's just-
I'm gonna make myself soup.
Did you-
I really want something warm.
I need more context. Did you grab the plate of chicken salad and you went in the trash? No, I want soup.
Yeah, it feels like she's just very upset about how ungrateful you were. And now it is spiraling, though. She texted me at work Thursday that she was going to make salmon. Communication. I decided that if she tried to cook for me, I would just let her, so she'd feel like she won over me.
Dude, you're on your high. Oh my god!
Yeah, dude, you're like going too far now. I think that was her extending an olive branch of like, hey, I'm gonna make salmon tonight.
And you went, dude. I'll let you have this one, babe. You sound so annoying.
If she makes you salmon, you better eat that dang salmon.
Now that you said this to her, that
She's
salmon is
probably
gonna be
not gonna
coming
cook her.
raw and poisoned.
She's probably not making it for him.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it.
If she tried to cook for me, I would just let her, so she'd feel like she won one over on me, and we'd draw a line under this. By the way, you guys can always win because you can listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit more. Actually, we've got a good amount more.
Even all the people in the comments also being like, do you mind? Like, hey, that's great. Do you mind if I warm up some? It's like, this isn't even a thing you should have to ask a question about.
Crazy.
You just go, oh, great. You made the chicken salad. I'm going to make some soup too because I just feel cold.
Yeah, do you want soup?
Right.
Yeah,
you
you're
just
like,
have
oh.
soup with it. Have tea with it. Have something warm with it.
And then if
so
she's like,
dumb.
what, you're going to make soup? What, is the chicken salad not good enough? Then it's like, okay, what are we talking about? But it's
Right.
just
But
do the thing.
Yeah. If you calmly explained, I just want something warm to go with it, we're still appreciative of the salad, then sure, she's overreacting.
Yeah.
But if you were fully just like, you made chicken salad, it's cold outside.
This relationship feels really healthy to me.
Yeah, dude.
We should
This is
broach that.
super healthy.
This is
Yeah.
peeving me.
Are you ready for this one?
Oh no.
She ended up making salmon only for herself, which is what we talked about, right?
Right.
Which I was surprised by because I was expecting her to try to convince me to have some. Why were you expecting
But
that,
also,
sir?
didn't you clearly state we're not going to make food for each other anymore?
It was your decision!
I love this.
Dude,
You're
oh,
just
man.
annoying me now. I made myself a quick omelet and sat down with her. She asked if I was upset she didn't cook for me, and I said no.
Clearly you were.
You sounded kind of upset.
I mean, I don't even know if it's upset, but it's like, why are you playing like a psychological game about this?
This is literally
They both
psychological
are now,
warfare.
though. They're
Yeah.
both playing the game.
Yeah.
You guys are like at you guys are having a cold war over cold chicken salad.
Food war?
Again, she accused me of making a point. She asked if I was going to cook for her Friday, and I said no.
What is this accusations about making points? She's just asking you a question and then you respond and she's like, "Oh yeah? Yeah? Great."
It's literally eye for an eye, and then it's like, now it's another eye for an eye. You know what? Let's do ear for ear now.
These guys are going to break up over cold chicken salad.
Yes.
I hope they do.
They should. They fully should. She was put out. Friday, she was upset that I made only enough curry for one person and called me greedy. At this point, I'm over it all, so I just ignored her. So healthy.
I am tired of both of you.
Break up.
You're just a little curry goblin. We were just gobbling up all the curry in the world just for you. A plate of one. Little curry boy.
And we have some comments.
Yeah.
Commenter one. This is stupid, man.
Thank
No.
you.
Just put your ego aside and hash it out. It's not worth deteriorating a relationship over. Someone replies, I mean, the girlfriend seems pretty immature too. She tried to make him angry on several occasions now rather than just having a conversation.
Yeah, it does. She's just mad that you're not upset.
Yeah. I'm not
And that she
saying
was.
that the girlfriend is in the right. I'm just saying that I think you started this OP, so you should maybe help initiate the conversation. Because you're both pretty petty, and I think you started it.
I was going to say, she started it. She made chicken salad.
They are, but I agree with D-Red. They're trying to out-petty each other. That's what it feels like.
Just play the song, The Chinese Chicken Salad.
So if you don't want to break up over chicken salad, maybe go to your girlfriend and be like, I'm really sorry that I didn't eat your chicken salad. Can we just, talk?
You know what you should do?
You should broach it.
Yes. You should broach this with chicken salad.
Make her chicken salad and leave it out on the table for her.
Yeah.
Say, I made you chicken salad.
Chickadee China.
First, she waited until he had made a meal. Then she said she was going to have a salad. When he didn't get upset, she flat out asked him if it annoyed him that she didn't want the food he made. Then she texted him that she is making salmon, implying that she will be cooking dinner, but then only makes it for herself. And again, she asks him if it upsets him. She's just as much an a-hole as him. I don't see how this relationship will last. Someone replies, I don't get why he got voted a-hole on the first post. Maybe making a face was too much, but he made what he craved himself and she ate the dinner she made. I don't understand her over-the-top reaction afterwards. If it was something that kept happening, I get it, but once in a while, you're allowed to crave something else from what's on the table. Just make it and the rest is leftovers they can both have later. I think it was just that he didn't communicate that.
It's probably the way he went about it.
Yeah, I think it was just the way. The salmon thing was petty and kind of stupid. If you have a stocked fridge and pantry and a set of hands, it's not rocket science to scramble a dinner in 15 minutes. I don't understand what she was trying to prove. Someone replied, she is hurt because he didn't understand why she felt rejected. So she wants to show him how it feels and she doesn't believe that he doesn't care. He needs to sit down with her and tell her that he really doesn't care and she can't expect him to read her mind. But that he does care whether she is hurt, which is why they need to discuss food choices. Oh my god, that's the end of that story.
You want me to look at an update?
Please. That is another, these are just frustrating stories today. Why are we not just speaking to each other like adults?
I think the solution is that you just move to a sort of nutritional paste type of meal. You know, something they would give astronauts on a deep space mission. Just congealed goo, and then everyone is happy, right? You can make the goo hot. You can make the goo cold. The goo doesn't mind. The goo is already made. You can make the goo whatever temperature you want.
Yeah. I agree with some of those last comments, though. I think she truly just felt rejected and she, you didn't apologize or, even try to help her rejection.
Yeah.
So then she was
Yeah.
she wasn't right to try to reject you back, but I,
You
I think it was
turned
just
into
because
a contest.
you didn't like acknowledge that she was able to feel hurt in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, you did reject her. She can feel rejected.
Yeah. It's sort of like the same energy of like, well, I don't care about birthdays, so I don't need to care
Right.
about yours because I don't care about mine. But maybe that person does care about their birthday
Sorry, I'm
and would like
looking at-
others to care about
I
their
need to go
birthday.
down here. I think OP like responds to a lot of people.
Just what a funny guy. What? Just a funny guy. And a funny girl.
Nah, dude.
Funny guy,
dude,
funny
This
girl.
guy, OP's an ass.
OP sucks.
Well, yeah, just the fact
Someone
that he,
said you
yeah.
sound so heartless, and he responds with 62 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It could have been entirely diffused just by being like, "Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it,
Like,
it
I'm
feels
not
like
trying to insult you or upset you. I just want something warm in my belly." But hard not to get there when it's like, "Well, your internal body temperature is already not." It's like, dude, come
Yeah.
on.
I
What
wonder
are
how
we-
reliable of a
I would have to
narrator.
argue with
No,
that.
exactly. There's
I
another.
wonder how reliable of a narrator
There's
he
another-
was, too. Maybe it
Anybody
wasn't
hitting
said
me
in the
with
way
the
that we
your
took it.
internal body temperature has to at least be 90 plus. I'm like,
She was
Here's another-
feeling
here's
it.
I'm
another-
arguing
here's-
so hard.
Here's
The
another
fact that
comment.
he's answering every
Yeah.
comment like this,
He's
though, is
answering some-
proving to me that this guy
Yeah.
just can't self-reflect at all.
Or he just can't. He can't see
can't.
himself as like a bad guy.
Yeah, there's no accountability.
Here's another one. We'll see what he says. I don't know why you're copying it so much on here. You simply sound logical and your girlfriend is more emotional, which causes her to act immaturely. You had a straightforward solution to avoid this problem in the future by not cooking for each other and try talking about it, but go nowhere. People
Yeah.
think so differently. I don't see the problem with you viewing this whole thing as a temporary arrangement to benefit from either, as I'm assuming she is on board and understands that. And he
Yeah.
responds with, it's because people are scared of other people not thinking exactly like them. It's okay. Doesn't bother me.
You are also upset that she's not thinking exactly like you, though.
Right. You're so upset that you made a Reddit post about it. My thing is, truly, I do think then when he came and was like, I don't think that we should cook for each other anymore, she took that again as another rejection of like, but that's something like we do for each other. Like, why do you not want to do that anymore because of this? And that was just another rejection after he's already kind
Sorry,
of been a little bit cocky and on top of this, like,
I found another
can I-
comment. Sorry.
let me
I didn't-
finish real fast. A little bit cocky on this whole like, well, no, I'm not bothered at all kind of train. And it's like she was just getting fed up.
So I guess one of the comments brought up like their relationship and like where it's going. I think it got deleted, but the response is, and I'm assuming this is towards their relationship and his partner, which makes sense. OP says she's leaving this country when she finishes school. She is here on a student visa and has never attempted to gain long-term residency status. Our relationship is about the now because in a little over a year, she'll be back in Europe and we will probably never see each other again. In the meantime, there's much to like to find in one another.
Dating to break up.
Crazy. Maybe you guys should just do it now.
I mean, yeah, I've been in that situation, and it makes things very confusing, especially if the situation changes.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man.
So I would hope that if y'all are doing that, that's the clear that's he's probably just saying that and hasn't discussed at all with his girlfriend about what she actually thinks
I'm sure.
is going to happen.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this guy just goes in the comments. He's just like, yeah, dude, I'm happy. I'm not fighting. I'm just hanging out. I'm
You
still
are
happy.
Yeah.
fighting though.
He really pulled the 62 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just checked it.
Yeah.
You sound like
You
an
sound
a-hole dude.
pretentious,
I'm
bro.
on her
You
side.
sound. I'm not on any of their sides.
I'm
They just
on her
sound. They
side
sound
now.
both just not compatible and disgusting.
I'm on the side of them living full, happy lives, both of them, with whoever they're meant to be with in the future.